On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, we're here to talk to you about Apoc rerun raids. They're going on right now. Oh my god, they're slipping away. But also, JP is doing a Lotto in March? And also lots of other things. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. What exactly is Road to 7? Well, it looks like it's free content for, many more months to come, so we'll talk about it. Hello, I am Shadow Legend Omega. With me as always, Seshoseki Lucky.
Everyone, I hope you're enjoying Faith Grand Order, aka it's reading season. Did I say reading or rating? I don't know. And while we here at Studiomega like to bring you the latest and FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events for both the JP and EM version of the game, so anyone will not wanting spoilers should attempt to exercise the Killing Stone.
Yeah, we know about that one, guys. It's okay. Also, I don't know what you said. Enunciation is not our strong suit here. We do not speaks good.
No.
But I can speaks good when I speak about our patrons who help support us, and include but are not limited to Adam DeHarp, Aka Comics, Akazima, Architect 10, Blackus G, Carlos Dragon Ferris, Jeremy Vasquez, Jonathan Sandoval, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rogue Robin, Charvor, Sean Pryor, some guy named Bob, Star 23, and Varen the Crow. If you like what we do, want to see us do more, consider supporting on Patreon and get access to early and lots of other goodies, and it really helps us out. Thank you for your support, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, just moving swiftly on. This will be an interesting one. We got a lot of front-loaded news, so we'll see how that goes. But, I'd love to do the FAF, but we got other FAF and stuff to do. Let us go ahead, because I have a couple of things for you this week, and let's just go ahead and check out with everybody's favorite Kohai Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
And so everybody, it's time for Wake the Fuck Up Senpai regular second for pro tips. Hopefully that's loud enough for people, by the way. It looks louder than me on the sound wave, so I think it's okay, but let me know if it's too soft or something. I can always wiggle the sound editing. Anyway, this week, I got a couple for you. One of them is a little timely. I don't know how long it will last, but, it was relevant now when I wrote the show notes, so we'll get into it. And just, use extra caution. And the other is just a general one. So the first one is, consider your support setup rotation, y'all. The point of having a support setup is to have stuff that other people can use. And right now you want to be keeping the raids in mind and how that works. And I have actually, shocking I know, I have seen other people complaining about the Scotty conspiracy this week.
Heck.
So, shit's bad. For the Fran raids earlier, I was actually splitting my support between using Scotties or waivers just for that 50% on Jack. But at least put your coin CE on there, if you're gonna. And a lot of people are probably going to be looking for offensive casters to try and nuke raids faster. There are a couple that are support units, so just something to keep in mind. Think about these things. I know a lot of people are still in the era of, autopilot Scotty, but I don't know. Eventually people complain to me that Scotty is bad, actually, so that'll run out, I guess. I don't know. You've got, four more months. Just imagine Frieza doing the, 5-minute hand gesture, until Castoria, and then your support setups will be completely ruined again, but, I don't know. Think about it, guys. Raids are very important. People are very aggro on raids, so if you want to get your friend points, think about these things as you chug your monster energy or whatever people are doing.
Actually, funnily enough, I've been getting a lot of use out of my own Scotty. Not because, I'm doing Skyless, just because she has a targetable 50% battery and I have an NP5 Vlad.
That also works, yeah. What I've been doing with Jack is just give Jack my MLB damage CE from last year, and then just alright, my waiver plus a Scotty or other waiver means instant Jack 100%, which means I can turn one any female with damage bonus on the raid, so, Fran.
Also, Scotty's defense down. I'm like, yes, good. My Vlad has been will consistently hit over 1 million damage. I'm like, this is overkill, but I don't care.
No, you're doing pretty good, yeah. I don't have the Vlad option, but I've got a Kentucky, which is similar. Not an MP5 Kentucky, but I can do Kentucky strats as well. He has his own battery. But yeah, there's a lot of things to think about there. It's funny. I think I got my Kentucky as my Berserker slot. And I should probably double check where my damage bonus CE is, though. I've gotten a couple extra CE, so I should fill out my CE lineup. I have a very impressive support setup for Apoc, with my level 100, 10-10-10 NP2 Mordred is my all. And yes, I did do the rank up quest immediately. But yeah, just, pay attention with your support setups, y'all. The other thing is also, this, like I said, this is a little timely, and I don't know if it'll still be relevant by the time this goes live for public, but it's at least something that has come up for people. So, I'm hearing reports that Google Play is being disrupted, in multiple regions. So for the time being, if you're on an Android, don't buy Saint Quartz. I've heard people getting charged with not receiving the Saint Quartz due to an error. Hopefully this will all be, cleared up, but you gotta be careful for now, so hold out if you can, and hopefully this gets addressed soon. And if you do actually buy Saint Quartz and get the error, that does provide you with the email address for support, so go ahead and, start that process with them. I've never had to use it, but I've always heard that FGO support with their email line and stuff is very responsive, and it might take them a couple of days because they're probably in Japan, but you usually get a decent feedback from them and can work through it. And with that, we shall move on. No records this week.
None.
Neither Lucky or I have, one hit killed the raids and are immediately done with all 2 million coins or whatever.
I will not repeat what happened last time, no.
Where you went into raid madness and then passed out for, 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on other stuff. We'll talk about it tomorrow on WhatsApp. Or technically later today on WhatsApp if you're watching this on our YouTube channel publicly. That's right, some people get to watch this early. You should, check it out. But we have some stuff in technically in Not All the World's Evil. My note isn't really that evil, but I found it utterly hilarious, especially given my recent banner luck, so I felt like reporting it. Some people might get a chuckle. So, there are tickets in the point ladder for this, in the coin ladder. So I put a single ticket towards the actual Apoc banner, because it did open with Saber Astolfo, who I don't have, and I still don't have an Atlantean altar, so I'm like, I'll see what happens. I immediately got a Mapo Tofu. So I switched back to hurling tickets at the Odysseus banner. Nothing yet. Nothing worth noting. But yeah, so that was just, I was like, it is a new summon. I don't have an Atlantean. I had a great 4-star luck with the Kirky, and then it's just like, Mapo Tofu, and I'm just like, alright, not doing that. We're done here. And the story is also done here.
Yes. I just realized I hadn't actually done the user survey, and I felt like a little bit like an idiot. I was doing that while you were speaking, so if I missed anything, I apologize.
No. There was just a slight pause that will surely be edited out. What? Yeah, I think so. Most of those are open silences. With a little bit of noise cancellation, we'll get it out there.
Yeah, so my apologies. So the other Not All the World's Evil is mine. It is something very small. It is only 4 words, but you will know the pain that this will cause me when I speak them. My scooter broke again. There was not a crash. There's not anything untoward that happened. It's just that I'm pretty sure the sealing on the tire is just... Thank you, Architect. I needed that. Architect in chat just screaming, no! But I'm pretty sure just the sealing around the tire cannot hold up against... Cannot just get held up against the wear and tear of me riding it around.
Oh, it's a terrible shame.
It's a terrible shame. So now I'm pretty sure I am just going to have to get a full-on replacement tire. And I checked, they're not that expensive. Like, the tire that I need actually is only like $30 for like the tire itself. But if I want to get the tire and hub, that's like $150. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna speculate. So that's that. So once again, Lucky has been reduced. His mobility has been reduced, and so as his freedom, I'm back to the bus. God damn it. Ugh. You do not know what you have until it's gone. That's it for me.
Alright, well, let's move on down the list to Did You Finish Your Master Missions? So, this weekums, to complete your Master Missions, you will need to defeat 8 servants, defeat 15 Wild Beast type enemies, so enemies with the Beast trait, defeat 15 Lancer, Assassin, or Berserker enemies, non-servants or bosses, and repeat that last caveat for the next 2, which is defeat 15 Archer/Rider enemies and defeat 15 Saber or Caster enemies, and then complete a quest with a caster in your party 5 times. We'll round that out. So, this is not do this event, but hypothetically, if you were working on i.e. in Breeze still, you were able to complete this if you still had some farming to do. But in the off chance you didn't, somebody actually linked me earlier in the week to the person on Reddit who usually just does those, short guides. Their username on Reddit is Zentori. And their advice is basically just do Fuyuki XF and Orleans Jura. And then maybe 1 Orleans Bordeaux if that you need to carry yourself over, because that also has wild beasts. But yeah, as usual, Fuyuki and Jura will take care of everything. You also will be able to accomplish some of this while doing the event, but not all of it. But the caster one's probably pretty easy, because you probably have a support caster tucked in there somewhere. At the very least, maybe a Shakes in there. And, the man's got a small targetable battery, and a team-wide buster buff. So, yeah, just some shout-outs to some stuff you can take care of. Now, we're going to move into our Skelegram segment, our news, and hopefully this will be pretty meaty, because obviously, the raid thing going on, and there's quite a few things that happen with the Apoc rerun. But also, JP is, like we said, is setting up for what they're going to be doing for the next few months. Starting with what's happening right now, Road to 7 Lost Belt 1 campaign from the 9th until the 17th of this month. So already a few days in. Hey, so remember how I said this would be a recurring thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is... do I say this again at the end? Oh, no, I don't. But, so, I will preface this now. When I read out all of this, keep in mind, presumably we're going to be looking at something along this line for all the remaining, Lost Belts until 6. We might even see it multiple times for Lost Belts that were very big and had lots of banners. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. But so, first things first, there was a special memory movie, which was just speaking over cutscenes and CMs from Lost Belt 1, but, a memory movie, reminding you what was up. And now, in an interesting move, I think this is the first time this has been happened. Chat, fact check me on this. But certain interludes for servants are unlocked even if you don't have that servant. You can still complete their interludes. You just need a certain amount of story progress. All right. The current message I'm getting from chat is correct. They have not done this before. So that's a pretty interesting one, right?
Right.
This includes, by the way, most of these are buffs because the list is Ivan, Anastasia, Adelante Alter, Avike Braun, and Salieri. Now Anastasia has 2 interludes. They are both up there. Those are both quartz interludes. All the rest of these are buffs. So that's kind of interesting. I assume it all, counts towards your interlude total for, bonus master missions and stuff. But this is a really interesting way to, get story follow-up, I guess, for these characters,
Oh, we do sometimes get characterization and interludes, post-story and whatnot, so...
Yeah.
It's very useful.
Yeah. So I would also presume for those that have interludes, this is probably going to be a recurring theme. You don't just decide, once on a lark, we're going to let you do interludes even if you don't have that servant. Also, as you might expect, we got a rank-up quest with this. Ivan got a rank-up on his first skill. That was his debuff cleanse and big NP gain up. Now it also gives him a 20 to 30% battery, straight out, which is useful. And also gives him 20 to 30% damage versus both chaotic and lawful enemies for 3 turns. So not neutrals, but chaotic or lawful. And in general, this seems like it might make him develop more of his own niche. While Ivan was, on paper, described as a really busted servant when he first came out, he really didn't make a lot of waves in the space of Buster writers. Probably because, Drake has a very flashy battery and, Pierce and all that stuff, and big star gain with
star.
Both her NP and the Pioneer, right?
Right.
So, big star infusion and powerful battery on there. Iskander just has all the generic buffs, right? So, he was very reliable.
A rock.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you have all the default damage amps, when you can do, attack up, NP up, buster up, crit up, what more do you want? So, Ivan was, really crazy with his, buster resistance down and the, self-debuff cleanse and all those other things. But, I feel like he kind of, fell off. Guys, if you weren't in the fandom when, Lost But 1 hit JP, yeah, he's got a buff strip, which is also really good. People data mined Ivan, as, coming on the second banner, and they were like, look at this guy, this is fucking nuts. And then he came out, and, people didn't really talk about him. He's got a decent buster steroid for several turns on his innocent monster. He can remove, all enemies' buffs and makes himself invulnerable. And he does have, which you can actually get access to, because of this campaign. He does have an interlude for his NP strength, but it's just, he didn't really make waves. But now that he can hit both lawful and chaotic enemies with, a little bit of extra damage, that'll probably give him niches in certain kinds of farming or boss clearing, right? So now we also get the bevy of the usual AP shenanigans you can probably expect. So, quarter AP on Part 1 and on Lost Belt 1. Half AP on Lost Belt 1 free quests, first clear. And half AP rank ups and interludes for everybody on that previous list. So, once again, incentivizing you to do those interludes, even if you already could. And also, this is, I think, the most interesting one. Not only double suck, but double XP for that list of 5.
I mean, it's powerful.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. Everybody knows from the fact that welfare start to do this now, right? That the double XP is pretty potent. slapping that on, these new servants. Very interesting. You also get double FP for using those servants, so kind of getting there. Several of them also got full screen NPs for the first time. I think that's everybody on that list who didn't already. So that's pretty cool. Graphical updates, keeping the AP themes. Nothing too crazy. Until they have now added in the Anastasia Lost Belt 1 map recollection quests for tickets and teapots. There are 3 so far, and you can participate in them if you have cleared Anastasia, and they come in both normal and super varieties. The super variety, which is much more like a raid battle or a CQ. We're talking, 9 digits of HP.
Jesus.
Yeah, these are like the really cut your teeth one. Now, this is an interesting one. So on the one hand, this is what we've kind of been asking for, right? Like,
right.
We've been talking about how, gosh, I really wish there was a way to replay some story boss fights or something like them.
Yes.
And these are that. They specifically call out which acts they are replays of, so let me dig up that list really quick. And then obviously the super is like the really enhanced version. So that's cool. Let me see. It's Act 13, which is the first Salieri fight, the Amadeus Altar fight. Act 20, the Minotauros boss fight. And then Act 22, the double breakbar fight with Anastasia, with Kadok support.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, cool. What's missing here? What's a quest that was really, really memorable in Lost Belt 1 that did a cool thing? I don't know, maybe the giant mammoth fight? Yeah, Golden Punch. So I'm a little saddened personally that Golden Punch is not on here. That was like, that's still like, when we talk about what was a really good like Lost Belt scene, right? Like that whole sequence is just still so memorable. Golden Punch and then into Dies Irae, like that's very iconic. I'm kind of surprised it's not in here. And then the other thing... Oh, go ahead, Lucky.
No, I was just kind of agreeing with you, because I was just thinking about the fight, and I'm like, yeah, no, I really love that fight.
Yeah. I mean, like, these are cool, but that's just, like, that is a moment I remember. It was such a build-up, and then such an interesting execution. So, yeah, that's just, like, one tiny criticism with this, but also in general, if this is a thing we're doing, can I get this for, like, part 1, please? Like, I know that technically FGO has been in Lost Belt land for longer, because it's taken a long time to get through this. We're taking it very seriously. And the word counts have gotten enormous.
Huge!
Yeah, huge. But this is the thing that I know people have been asking for, I'm pretty sure on both sides of the ocean, for part 1 for a long time. Like, people would really like to get a chance to just relive, like, some of the Gatia fights, to pick on, some of the Tiamat boss battles, and, like, even the special Ket's boss battle in Babylonia, and stuff like that. So, we'll see if they keep going, and if they throw in some others, but, yeah, Recollection Quest, they're explicitly calling it Recollection Quest and Super Recollection Quest. You basically unlock them, and you've got Special Master Mission quests, and so you can access, the basic versions give you tickets, so you can get 3 tickets, and then the super versions give you 10 Stargazer's Teapot each for extra bond. So yeah, just a really cool system, kind of a thing you've been asking for. Not a perfect execution out of the gate, I want to say, but still, like, the feature is in the right place, right?
Right.
So that's neat. So we'll see how this progresses. I mean, if they're going to do 3, I mean, that means I guess it's time to start guessing what the fights are, right? Like, for Lost Belt 2, it's gotta be... You gotta have one Surtur, and probably Scotty and Valkyrie at the end? Maybe one with Sigurd? Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't want to super guess. But yeah, so Recollection Quest seems like a cool feature. Thumbs up. Just, give me a little bit more. Give me a little bit more. I'm rubbing my fingers together in the gesture, but you can't see. We also have a summon banner on this, which is Ivan, Anastasia, Atalante, Altar, Salieri, and Evike Braun. Wonder where that lineup came from. Yeah, so we're pretty heavy on the themes of who got the banners for this stuff. Who got the raid-ups. Also, though, raid-up on the CE Heretical Yaga. So if you want to get your copies, a raid-up on the Special Story CE. Very nice little effect there. That extra spice for that banner. So that's a cool thing, I think. That is something we've talked about before, is like, these CEs are really cool, but actually max limit breaking them is really hard. Oh yeah, people will go after this banner for those extra CEs.
Oh yeah. I know I will.
Yeah. And if I still don't have an Adelante altar, or if I don't have a lot of them, tickets, 4 stars, options. I think my Salieri is NP5 now, thanks to the great Odysseusing of 2022. That time I got lost in the ocean of Saint Courts. But we also have new generic CEs. That's right. This is kind of a, story quality of life 10-pole upgrade. So we've got some new CEs. Additionally, Sealing Enforcer and Shroud of Magdalene are being retired. They're being rotated out after this campaign. So you will obviously have seen the CE's images reflected in the thumbnail and the body of the text.
Ta-da!
But, so we've got 3 new ones. The 5-star one is Phantasmal Princess. That's the Ilia one. It gives you 60 to 80% NP damage up on Berserkers. You can guess which one this is meant to replace.
Peace.
Illusory Confessional gives you defense against male buff. It's smaller than Shroud of Magdalene. It's only 20% at MLB, but it also offers you 25 to 30% NP gain on hit up. So you gain more NP when you're hit, which can be important. And then the new Bazette one is Paradise of Flowers. It also increases Star Absorb. Again, not quite as much as Sealing Enforcer, but still a lot. And offers you 8 to 10% quick up as well. So synergy.
Oh, okay.
Also, at least for Illusionary Confessional, but I think also for Paradise of Flowers, the stat bonuses are just better. Like, Illusory Confessional gives you, an extra, 100 or 200 on attack, and then, an extra, several hundred. Is it, 5? Might be over, 1k on HP. So, they're just more refined versions of those CEs that do more things. So, that's pretty cool.
Did a thing in the place with the stuff.
Yeah. New art, decent stats, doing some extra options. And that 80% total for Berserkers on Phantasmal Princess. That's, crazy good, We're going to talk about this later when we probably talk about the raids, but also just in general, Berserkers with big damage amps is part of the quintessential, raid strategy. So,
oh yeah,
this is very powerful. This is, like an event's damage bonus worth just for your NP, but it's on a CE that you can use anytime. So, very important, especially with those, like I said, really chunky super recollection quests.
Oh, chunky.
Where you have to fight a Salieri who has 1.4 and 1.6 million HP in 2 bars.
A lot.
Surrounded by fucking ghosts.
Ghost?
Yeah,
they
so,
intensifies.
Big HP numbers you gotta work about. What's the one on the Anastasia one? Hold on, let me double check, because she's got 3 HP bars. The super recollection version is 1.1 million, 1.6 million, and then 1 million. That's a lot of millions. That's not quite 4. That's what
that's
3.75?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's damn. 3 3/4 millions of HP. That's a lot to chew through. When it's also, like I said, that's the boss from the end of the Lost Belt Anastasia. So she's got the command spells and all the other stuff going on, and her full skill set and everything. Very spiced.
Very spice.
Additionally, on the 13th, there will be a special Spotlight video and/or stream. It is going to be streamed live, but I do not know if it will be a live video. It could just be a premiere or a pre-taped. But there will be, they're calling it Lost Belt Spotlight on the 13th with Kenji Akabane and Rumi Okubo. So, look forward to that, I guess. I think it'll just be kind of like a recap and, talk about thing. I don't expect any, crazy news out of this. It's just part of the stuff they've talked about with Road to 7. But still, good to note. Should be live on YouTube, so, if you want to check it out, you can check it out. So that was, that's a chunky campaign. And this is just one Road to 7. We will presumably, like I said at the start of this, be seeing this at least 5 more times. If not more, because, the Lost Belt 5 thing. But yeah, so, if we're gonna do this to lead up to Lost Belt 7, which will be this year, expect to see these with pretty decent frequency. I expect probably, once a month you'll get a Road to 7 at this rate.
Well, it'll be interesting, because they'll definitely give, will fill out content for the month. They won't necessarily need to worry about sticking things, but I do wonder how this kind of thing will affect scheduling and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know. Because this is kind of it's big because it's got a banner. There's rank ups. There's quests to do, obviously, with the recollection quests. And if you're not doing them, there's half AP. But this is kind of like a story catch up event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting to see how that'll be segmented out. But we also do already have our line on what the future content is. We don't have any details because it's still about a week away. But yeah, additionally, at the same time they announced this Road to 7 Lost Belt 1 campaign, We also got Battle in New York 2022, Space Odysseus versus Nikola Tesla. That's the canonical name. So, yeah, no, we're getting a Lotto event in spring, and it's Battle in New York again, but with Space Odysseus and Tesla. So,
That's a non-matchup.
Yeah, there's a little preview that's translated somewhere. It's like a message from Space Odysseus. It's set in the year 2032, so like 10 years in the future. It's interesting. Not sure what's going on there. And it's gonna be a Battle in New York Lotto event, presumably because we're doing like different whatchamacallit, like story beats, you know, different star servants. So probably will be like the 3 quests you get in like a Battle in New York thing will be unique. They did say, the only news we have hard and fast on this, they did say that there will be no additional new exhibition quests. Previous years will return in some form. So there will be exhibition quests, but there won't be any new challenges. It'll be old stuff. And as somebody in chat pointed out, this will require Lost Belt 1 cleared. I don't know if that's supposed to be like a difficulty thing, or if just they're trying to like encourage people to catch up in the story and use this, you know, handy-dandy quarter AP, right? So get your Lost Belt clears in, you can try this out. So yeah, no, that's really interesting. Lotto event in spring. Usually those are, you know, fall and Christmas, right? I mean, it's Space Odysseus, so it could be related to Saber Wars stuff.
Well, I won't say Saber Wars. I'll say Servant Verse stuff.
It's true. They might not call it Saber Wars 3.
Like, even though you know it was definitely like Saber Wars 2, it actually had nothing to do with Saber Wars. Really,
there were some sabers and like MHX was in it, but yeah. You
Yeah,
could argue that Summer 3 was more in continuity with the Saber Wars continuity because we get to actually see, you know, MH XX.
It's like it was only Saber Wars because people would put on Saber badges. I'm just like, okay.
They should call it Saber Wars 4 just to confuse everybody, like George Lucas did.
No, like if we're thinking lore wise, I'm thinking it's probably just going to be expanding more on Servant Verse kind of thing. Because again, the Servant Verse is this kind of weird continuity that just exists in Nasuverse lore. Because if I remember correctly, this not the Servant Verse existed before FGO. It was just all in like type moon gags and stuff.
Yeah, it was all in April Fool's jokes with MHX obviously, and then with like Chief Red and other stuff. FGO is the only one that's really drilled down into the lore of the Servant universe and like talked about how it works, which basically is that like humans have basically like all evolved into servants.
That's the mood. But with that,
yeah, I think that's all we got on Battle New York 2022 so far. So
yeah,
that
like
means it's time to pivot to any news, I think.
Yeah.
So we got the big one. I thought about releasing a news desk, but then I was like, nah, y'all know about raids. You know the raids are happening. We told you the raids were going to happen. You're okay.
Fine.
And also, I needed to play more Horizon Forbidden West.
I'm sorry. I blitzed it.
It's okay. We'll talk about it on WhatsApp.
It was literally a thing of I hit a quest, and then it was the soft point of no return. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you just got sucked in. You were always still a little ahead of me. Like I'm where you were like on the stream last week, and I'm only level 48. So like, I think you've just somehow managed to be more efficient with taking care of your side quests or something. Maybe I don't know. I do get easily distracted by side quests, but we'll talk about it. I'll at least get through some story stuff. But yeah, I've been trying to like actually work on that and do other things, but we'll see where we are. So I was just like, do I really want to take like 30 minutes out of my day to make like a 5-minute video and upload it that not that many people are going to watch anyway because you already know about the raids? Nah, we'll skip it for now. But raids are happening.
Yep.
This is the Fate Apocrypha collab revival Apocrypha / Inheritance of Glory Triumphal with hyphens. Somebody at at Lasengle JP headquarters is having fun with the localization names, designing our graphics packages.
Actually, that reminds me. I was actually very interested to see on the user survey that our English survey was actually asking about how much JP content we knew. Usually, they don't want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if maybe that was like because Albert has always admitted and kind of joked about the clairvoyance with the community. So I'm wondering if just like maybe with the management shift to like Lasengle, they've realized that like, hey, do we want to like acknowledge that people are aware, or alternatively, maybe they realized all the internet yelling about arcade, and we're like, hey, let's take a vote. Is this just a loud minority, or do genuinely a lot of our English users know about JP stuff? Which the answer is probably going to be yeah. And I would love to take credit for that, but no, we're not the only outlet. There's much larger YouTubers whose whole ass job it is to just yell at you about JP content because moon runes. But anyway, the Apoc collab rerun will be from the 10th until the 23rd. So by the way, everybody is putting your money on Lost Belt 5, the second half, the 24th. That means we will be doing the Lost Belt 5 Part 2 pregame on the 18th, next week's show. So if you're interested in some of the difficulty stuff people are talking about, stay tuned for that one. Now, the raid schedule will be going on through the 17th, so once we get past the 17th, the raids will all be done and you can relax. Keep an eye on the raids for your favorite mats. I know several people looked at the first phase of the current raids we're doing and just been like, I don't need any of those. So we're probably going to be in like a little bit of a slow bit for raids. Maybe catch up on the free quests.
Well, you might not do the islands, but again, I do want to remind people that these raids, like especially like the Evil Dragon raids, which I'm doing, does just have 500k QP drops.
Yeah, no. I think, and in the ladder, there's like 1 million QP nodes for like points. So like, it's good. I just don't think it'll be as crazy as like Void Dust or Bones, right?
Right.
Like people will not be as ravenous. But remember, we do rotate through several raids, so there will be some additional mats you can pick up. So
does anyone remember which one's the bone one is?
We have the. Well, somebody posted in News Desk the one, so let's see. Is there a bone? Yeah, Karna is bones.
Yeah, Karna.
Vlad is stakes, so I need to pay attention for when the Vlad raid comes up.
I knew one of them was bones.
We have the picture. The picture guide has been transposed into our News Desk, so we have a few of these which give a list of some of the items you get. So, for instance, Fran is like spinal fluid and lamps. Vikebron is gears. Scarabs, Shakespeare is pages and snake gems, Jack is void dust and grease, that's why Jack was a high priority. Atalante is phoenix feathers and horseshoes. Spartacus is seeds and chaos claws, talons. Mordred is dragon fangs and spirit roots. Astolfo is octuplet gems and primordial lenugos. Siegfried is stingers and dragon scales, duh. Vlad is stakes and dark beast cochlicists, or whatever it is. Karna's bones and blood tears. Semiramis is chains and hearts. And then the mimicry raids that come later, the last phase are like 4 different mats. I'm not going to list those all out again. Yeah. So there are some good choice mats in there. There's some bronzes that will be in there, and expect those to go fast. Especially like I said, Vlad for stakes, right? Like that's he's a berserker, so that's going to be real easy for people to make that wombo combo for damage farming. Like just for coins, I was farming Fran with my Jack. Because that's just easy money, guys. I get the buffs big enough. Jack will one shot. Also, by the way, shout out to Jack's animation update. I believe that was this Thanksgiving, but I actually didn't have like a powerful female boss to take on with Jack, so I haven't seen them yet. So they're pretty slick. Okay, so raids for your favorite mats. Sieg gets double XP as usual. We talked about that, and you'll get rare prisms for extra Siegs. Yay, rare prism economy.
Rare prisms.
And there is, of course, a horrifying clusterfuck of a banner. For Apoc, because, my god, there's so many Apoc servants. The important things you want to pay attention to is that, because they're limited, Saber Stolf is back in after only like 3 months. I know, it's crazy. But also Semiramis and Amakusa will show back up. And then the others in the rotation is, let's see, it started with, it's alphabetic. No, it's not alphabetical. Is it red then black? I don't know what the order is, but the rotation seems to be Achilles, Astolfo Saber, Amakusa, Semiramis, Mordred, Jack, Vlad, and then it does it again. So there'll be 2 full loops. So if you like missed Astolfo Day or something, or if you were like trying to buy St. Quartz and couldn't because of the bug we talked about, it will loop back again. But yeah, it's just a clusterfuck. And then there's like, oh my god, how many is that? Is that 8? I think there's 7 different servants on all day raid up. Most of them 4 stars. So
waiting to happen.
Yeah, it's full chaos, and there's actual event CEs. So yeah, it's a big one. But also, probably one of our more anticipated things about this, the rerun comes with rank ups. 3 rank ups to be exact, very big ones. So Mordred's instinct gets upgraded to her nuclear weapon. To Cigarette Lion. Actually, kind of surprised by the way they went straight up with Cigarette Lion. I've heard some translations use Scarlet Lion, but no, we smoke here, I guess.
Again, I think it is just a reference to good old Shishigo.
Yeah, it is. It's just, I'm kind of surprised. Maybe, I know that Japan sometimes is more sensitive about smoking. See all the weird censorship in Stardust Crusaders anime. Jotaro, what's going on? I can't see your face. Where did the shadow come from? But this is a pretty big one. It only gives her like one more star, but it rounds out the curve. But it increases her weight on Buster cards and also gives her 30 to 50% crit up for 3 times 3 turns. So this is pretty powerful for Instinct. This gives her a, big crit energy for follow-up turns. Vlad gets a buff.
Yay!
This is like third buff. His Batcon is buffed. Now he has double guts for 1 turn. One of the guts only lasts 1 turn, but it is double guts. The other one lasts still for 5 turns. Also, he does get 20 to 30% NP gain for 3 turns, which will probably help with them Arts Lupin, son.
I mean, he is a multi-hit single target arts berserker. He needs it.
Yeah. But I like the double guts because as a berserker, he can be kind of fragile. So this actually gives you possibly 2 procs if you're about to explode. Especially considering that, not for this because the raids are all 1 HP bar, but many bosses nowadays have 2 HP bars, so you can't even kill them all the way with 1 Vlad hit. And when you break their HP bars, they tend to get a little annoyed with you. So this is good clapback protection. And Amakusa got a buff as well. His Revelation is buffed. It is now targetable. It generates slightly more stars per turn, and also gives that targeted ally 20 to 30% NP gain up for 3 turns, so giving him some more support options. Additionally, Mordred now has a costume available in the shop after a certain amount of story progress. So chew through those raids, lads. I need to unlock that costume. Also, yes, when the maintenance ended and the event was actually in, yes, the first thing I did was do Mordred's rank up. Yeah, I know what I'm about.
I still haven't done Vlad's yet, but I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know how relevant it is for this, because usually you just one and done, but for future, it's a good buff for him. And chat, you can correct me on the date, but this is a relatively late ad here. But our last little bit of newsy type things is that Arcade does have a stream on the schedule soon. They're doing their big, finale, finalists, terminus.
People are, screaming to the heavens that, that this year's Golden Week collab is going to be Arcade, because everything just seems to be aligning. The stars are coming together.
Oh, and we've talked about this at length, but ever since they did, the Moonlight Lost Room collab, also, by the way, speaking of secret follow-ups to Saber Wars, but, ever since they did that, we were just okay, this is just the true Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail. Literally anything can happen. So, they've pre-prepped the rights, and also, it just seems like it's the right time, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many vibes about Arcade. Arcade is, so in the news, and it seems like they're coming to a climax, so I guess we'll see what happens. People will probably still yell about it and be mad. Though, FGOJP did get their own infusion of, the slightly minor costume upgrades with all those glasses.
Mechanicon.
And, last year's collab had a shitload of, real-ass costumes, full costume changes with image songs. So, I don't know, if they did an Arcade collab, that would be a funny joke, because I might make that Yu-Gi-Oh! Poop later. I made a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card name joke in there. I might actually make that shit post, because I do that a lot. Follow either me or the studio account on Twitter. Usually I make shit posts as me, but occasionally I'm alright, community, check out these memes. Loth is a lunatic. An absolute madman. But yeah, Arcade has a stream soon. I don't have an exact date on that. Was it the 13th?
It was the 13th or the 14th. If you go on our hang on, I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, track it down for me. I'll vamp. But yeah, so let's see. That's the Arcade thing coming up. It's not in my notes, and we weren't able to find a clean image to use for the thumb, but they did reveal some goods that will be at Anime Japan, because FGO is going to be there, and they're going to have a panel, so look out for that. As we've discussed, this may or may not be the reveal of the Golden Week collab, even though that's a month early. We'll see what happens. They did do it last year. There is some merch, which appears to be some banners or images and stuff, one of which involves some Fairy Knights, and some Angles, and some Vargas. But also we got some other fun stuff in there. So that's a key thing. I don't know. The bingo card craze has gripped our Discord. By the way, it should just be discord.gg/Studiomega, I'm pretty sure. I believe that's our custom URL. Sorry, I did this last week as well, I think, but I break my brain every time I try to open up our server settings and then find where it talks about invites, and it's just not in the normal list, and I'm fuck it, I'll do it later. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know why our community in our Let's Take FGO channel is posting their bingo cards for anniversary, but they are. So
I mean, it's I don't remember the term for it, but if one person does it, someone else want to do it. Once 2 people do it, then 4 people want to do it.
Yeah.
There's a term for it, but...
I think I started with talking about the upcoming SSR ticket, which is not too far away, but yeah, it happened. It is a little bit like a bandwagon. Let me stroke my beard. I need to shave. But yeah, that's all the news. Lucky
Oh,
to
the
find
news!
the number source on the stream.
I had it, but I lost it, and I'm trying to figure out why. I feel dumb. Hang on.
Yeah,
Twitter save me. I really wish they would... I haven't been on social media much recently, mostly because they... I don't know why. Well, people have been yelling to me about way too much about Elden Ring.
There's a lot of Elden Ring yelling. Yelden Ring. Actually, also, I just realized, while I was looking at our news desk, I should mention in the translation, they're still calling it, like, in the graphic battle in New York, but the intro that's been translated says it's, GBF in New York, Galaxy Battle Festival. Whoa.
Well, we just gotta get big. We gotta get bigger in scale.
Big galaxy. But alright. That's what we got for the news. So, before we're going to transition to mailbag anyway, I have to take a short break, so I'm going to pause the audio for a sec, and we'll be right back. Because I managed to make that go on for about 45 minutes. Told you it was big news. Unpause. Hello. We're back.
I'm back. Alright, so I did finally figure it out when it's going to take place. I don't know when this is necessarily going to take place in JP time. I believe it'll still be the 13th, but for me, over here on the West Coast, doing, Pacific Standard Time, it'll be March 12th at 8 p.m. So, basically in the middle of us doing What's Up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably.
Something like that. I also checked the link and it said 25 hours, so.
25 hours.
So yeah, possibly technically the 13th. But alright, that means it's time for mailbag.
There's probably a lot easier way I could look this up. For some odd reason, today's just been a day of absolutely convoluted methods of solving problems.
Whatever works.
It is whatever works. Lucky's immediately going to start faffing now because I fucking can, and we only got 13 of these. But I was working today over at Goodwill, and we have this system in which we basically put our product online. And it keeps track of certain points. So it keeps track when I make a tag to put on an item. It lets me know when I've made a photo of it. It lets me know if I put information on it. And it lets me know if I finalized it. And the tags are just these big long strings of numbers that I have to figure out that are just not necessarily random. They're not randomly generated. It's a sequence. They're generated in sequence.
Yeah, they are serial numbers.
Thank you.
If anybody didn't know why we call them serial numbers, they're numbers that are in serial.
But today I accidentally made a mistake and I put a couple items on my cart before actually finalizing them. And unfortunately, our system, like many systems that people have to work with, do not come with all the features you need to be smooth and successful. I did not have a way to find the items that once they had already been shelved because they didn't actually exist in the system because they hadn't been finalized. So, I did not know what the items were, because the only thing that let me know that something was wrong is that my number of tagged and photographed items did not match my number of finalized items. So I'm just like, I'm missing 2 items here. And I could not actually figure out what they were from a quick glance. So what I had to do was, I had to plug in my company phone. I had to go to the gallery. I had to look at every single fucking photo I had until I figured out, alright, which one has been finalized and which hasn't been. And once I did that, I didn't have to go into the system and pull up all the serial numbers, all of them. Like, let me mind you, I work in a place where we do about, total 900 items a day, which is not our best, but it's still a lot. And I had to go dig through them until I found the point before I made my first mistake, and the point right after I made the last mistake. Because that's somewhere in that serial with this. And I had to put in every single missing serial number until I found the 2 that I was looking for. And it took fucking forever. And I'm just like, I'm doing this. I did this literally over my entire lunch break. And I'm just like going, there has to be an easier way to do this. There has to be an easier way to do this. But no, I am just constantly typing in the same comment and just going up one character at a time. It'd be like NS41 tag 003 SJK. No, that's not it. NS41 tag 003 SKK. No, that's not it. And just down the fucking line. I'm just all like, I'm not watching anime because of this right now. That's usually what I do on my lunch break. My company is very, very trusting, and they only block like direct gaming sites. Like, yeah, you want to go on YouTube? Go for it. You want to watch Crunchyroll and Funimation? Go for it. But no, not this day, not this Friday. No, the numbers. It's just a raw serial. It is just a generated tag to link an item to in the system. But yeah, no, like again, I was just thinking about this. Like, I solved this problem, but again, I feel like I have done this in a completely and utterly obtuse
yeah, I mean,
manner.
like in a sane world, that's not how you solve that problem, right?
No.
But
No, I should have just been able to like pull up a listing of my own numbers and be like, and have like a check mark if it's been actually been finalized. But no, it's,
or there should be like just a big red list of like these items are not like if when it told you, hey, your finalized items and your other steps of items don't match up, there should be like a function to just jump to the items that are not finalized.
Yeah, so I'm just like, But yeah, so my numbers are not that great today, but I don't care. So that probably took up a few minutes.
It was like 10 minutes, yeah.
Perfect.
5, 10, whatever.
So we shall begin. So it is time for this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag, the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week we only have 13. This is a small number, y'all. It is cursed.
Yeah,
but
I joked pre-mic times that I should say something about like how apparently the people need you to only do it like like a day or two before we're gonna record, so they feel the pressure or something. That or we do the thing I talk about threatening physical violence. Submit your mail or be punched. We'll see if that works.
I don't want to do that because I don't want to make a threat that I can't follow up on.
Fair enough.
Because what is someone going to do when someone calls our bluff?
I mean, the example I always think of is Philip DeFranco's news channel where he says he'll punch you in the throat if you don't hit the like button, and that works. I'm pretty sure he has too many followers that he can't actually punch people who don't, but it incentivizes the people who do like to like it. I don't know.
I don't know if there's
questions
actually
for later.
I don't you say that, but I don't know if there's a metric of people. It's like, oh yes, I only hit that like button because I was afraid Philip DeFranco was going to punch me in the fucking throat.
Well, I feel like the metric is that when he doesn't say that, people he gets less likes, and people are like, Phil, you didn't tell me you didn't say you were going to punch me in the throat. The audiences are weird. The audience, that unit of the audience, is weird. Capital A audience.
Anyway.
Actually, yeah, Axe brought up a point. I mean, you've had a weird melty day. I've been part of a weird brain melty week. I did manage to step down the volume a little, but Prague this week was weird, and I got really yelly at one point. I just
when is Prague ever not weird though?
I mean, this was different though. Dallas does his usual heel thing, and I just I broke. I went the other way. I'm like, all right, Dallas, do it. I dare you. Do it anyway. You can hear me yell about it and talk about it, but yeah, it's just we were all kind of goop. Marth even talked about how he was kind of stressed during his match because it was me and him up first, and it's because everybody was just kind of talking randomly, and I'm like, yeah, we were kind of weird because we took a week off because Loth was flooded out. He's better now. Thumbs up for Loth. But we had to take a week off, so it was just kind of we were all just weird, and there were 8 of us, and that's just kind of been how my week has been. Is just being in videos that are weird and melty, and then trying to play a lot of Horizon.
Oh, hey, I mixed up Plug Suit. Yay!
Nice. Oh, I probably should have put this in records. I think which one was it? It was Captain Chaldea. I finally got that to level 10.
That's worthy. So, anyway, we have 13, and we will try to get through them as slowly as possible. So, we'll start off. The first one comes from a Master Revan Kentucky up to Smash 'em Casters in the Apoc rerun. Sounds about right. They say, greetings, salutations, Lucky Nomad. With the arrival of the latest rerun, it got me thinking about main interludes. If you had a say in the matter, which past events would you add to the main interludes? I would include the Gudas for the hijinks, as well as some funny story elements. We did fight a demon god pillar and one of them after all. Seems pretty important, sending you good vibes. And have fun with the raids.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when it's come up before, we've both said Guda would be good. At least those first couple, because
I think they should all.
I mean, yeah, probably all eventually, but Guda kind of has its own continuity, right?
Oh, yeah.
That just keeps coming back. I guess the only other one would maybe be, because it became so important, the Liz trilogy. But even then, not main interlude, but they did do that whole like really long recap event to get people back in. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be added at some point. But I would also still say OQ.
Yeah, that's another big one probably.
Yeah.
Possibly
Honestly, I'm pretty
Imaginary Scramble.
I would say Imaginary. Well, again, I haven't played Imaginary Scramble, but I'm assuming if it has the same story weight that OQ and Seraph does.
I think it's supposed to. At the very least, it's got a canonical point where it takes place, and it was technically like reverse foreshadowed in a story chapter, right? Like that was the start of Atlantis was being like, we did a test run of the Nautilus.
I can't remember it well, but I feel like something important happened.
Yeah, and that's as far as I know, that's supposed to be Imaginary Scramble. So that's like it's probably important. I don't think it's. Did they do a rerun for Imaginary Scramble yet?
I don't think so.
Let me know, chat.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
I also
feel
don't
like
think so, but
I feel like we're due one though.
I mean, that's probably something to get on the air. No, not yet. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably going to come up here. Well, actually, no. Usually, it's like 2 years before they rerun these sort of things.
Not always, but sometimes, yeah. Like I think it's going to be 2 years before OQ came back.
Mm-hmm.
With non-seasonal events, it's kind of weird. Like obviously, if we get them anyway, Christmas is rerun every year when they've got time. The Halloween, you usually get a rerun before the next Halloween, so on and so forth. Summer obviously has the summer rerun, but also like with story related, like with collabs and stuff, and with other events, it can take a while, yeah. Because we're gonna get OQ's rerun in a couple of months here, along with the main interlude for Seraph. So yeah, there's a couple of thoughts, a couple of things, main interludes.
Mm-hmm. So with that, we shall move on. Thank you very much. This next one comes from the Eternal Storm, who says, question. I know there's a lot of talk about routes during last week's Let's Talk FGO video, so in honor of the rerun, my question is this. My question this week is if Fate Apocrypha had alternate routes, what would they be?
Yeah, this is an interesting question because I don't quite know how it would work, as Apoc is a light novel first, so it's got a single route in that it has a contiguous story that is told.
Well, if we put it into the visual novel format, that basically means we have to identify the main character, who is Sieg, and then, rub him on various heroines. So the main route would probably be, Jeanne.
Yeah.
And then...
I mean, it's also basically the Stolfruit, though, but...
Yeah, it is.
That's because Stolfruit doesn't really give a shit. He gets to hang out and presumably bang that girl that Jean was possessing. Letitia.
So...
Something that doesn't sound very Romanian. Very Latinate. God, if you want me to spell it, no, that's not going to happen.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Honestly, a Mordred route would probably work, because, believe it or not, in Apocrypha, Mordred and Shichigo actually acts very separate from the rest of the groups. They're kind of their own thing. So you could actually kind of make a point of, basically, if Sieg was to pair up with Morgan and Shichigo. And I can say the same thing for Jack, but pairing up, doing a Jack route would probably be a lot more dark. And
yeah, there's probably some weirdness with Jack's master.
Mm-hmm.
But you got the memory edit thing.
Yeah.
There's also, there's other lady masters. You could do Fiore.
Fiore could. Fiore would probably.
She had a lot of, in the actual light novel, she had a lot of character development with her thing with like her legs versus magic powers. Do I want to be able to run, or do I want to be magical Doc Ock?
And Semiramis would be the Medea of Apocrypha.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's cool. She's a cool booty, but don't touch her. She's poisonous.
Yeah.
Well, no, Axe, I'm not doing a thing where I'm just going to constantly switch protagonists.
Yeah, we're already dancing on the field of the ice of speculation. So
yes.
Not accounting for like whatever the fuck the actual like through line was supposed to be for the MMO version, which was supposed to have like player choices mean something or whatever. Mr. Nasu's weird plans for making people feel things.
That's Tule.
Yeah, Tule / Gordes wrote.
Like, again, there's a lot of like characters in there, but I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to narrow it down to characters that would have.
I think the Mordred one is good because Mordred and Shichigo are basically like a second Apoc is one of those weird stories where, especially in the light novel, Sieg is majorly our viewpoint character, but like a lot of these things, it is a character that, like, you expect of the Fate story. It's a story with a large ensemble cast, and, like, the amount of plot stuff that Mordred and Shishigo accomplish is, in fact, kind of a big deal. Like, they are out there straight up doing their own thing that is different from the Red faction.
But, like, the point I wanted to get is I wanted to, like, pick, like, routes that would give you actually different viewpoints and character perspectives. Like, an Atalante route wouldn't necessarily make a lot of sense, because, believe it or not, aside from getting really, really mad at John, in the anime, I should say, like, forgive me, I have not read the light novel, Atalante doesn't do much. He's like, It's like same with Fran. Super, super adorable waifu, but she's there to look cute and, maybe explode with lightning occasionally.
Yeah, like, this always happens, right, with Fate. You have some people who are not necessarily jobbers, but, like, you have to tier your antagonists,
Yeah.
So, like, Spartacus, for instance, gets, like, booped out pretty early by Astolfo, and then, like, captured and turned into a human weapon, and then booped again.
So, like, I think the three strongest perspectives in that would be John. Like, honestly, we don't have to go, like, crazy. Like, if we just do, like, the three standard routes, like, the Stay Night route would be John, the Unlimited Blade Works would be Mordred, and the Heaven's Field route would be Jack. Like,
something like
that.
I think,
I believe, like, I'm not saying they're, like, the one for one, but the equivalent of.
Yeah. I could see that. Because, like, and I can see why, because, like, you can see kind of obviously the face thing. You can see kind of the similarities between the rules that, like, Artoria and John have, and then, obviously, being a servant is different, but I feel like Mordred's personality type and the way she acts in the story of Apoc is kind of like, she's still kind of, being a bratty kid, which kind of matches up with Sieg, like, being a literal newborn trying to figure out what the fuck is up, right?
And I think, like, Mordred would actually be, like, still a brat would be a good learning figure of, someone, forging their own path, making their own way.
And we get to see a little bit of this in, like, London Mordred and FGO, right? Where she, like, realizes what's up with MASH and then actually manages to be subtle. Like, what's in her life? She's like, yes, there's something about you, Anyway.
And the Jack route would just be basically, basically airing out all the dirty laundry of, this Mages Association, just actually how kind of fucked up they kind of are.
Yeah.
And whatnot,
and dealing with all that other weird stuff. It is also the one that much like Heaven's Feel, you get the dramatic recontextualization of the war, because you're like, we're minding our own business. Oh wait, what's this? Assassin of Black has gone rogue and is fucking everybody's shit up?
Oh no.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think
it's an interesting thought experiment. If not as you said, not a one-to-one to, like, the way FSN works.
But that is that. I think we've spoken enough about that. I hope you enjoyed that. We shall move swiftly on, but not really. So thank you very much. This next one comes from Apples Disappearing at the Speed of Sound. They say, hello, Loki and Mega. Hope your raids have been going well. Like I said, I can one-shot anything right now, so I guess I'm okay.
You're doing all right.
I'm here to wish you luck on your rolls and hope that the upcoming Olympus Launch Belt doesn't kick our asses too much, since I've heard it's an extreme jump in difficulty compared to Atlantis. Actually, while we were recording, I actually did another, like, I spent 10 tickets on Odysseus. I got shit, by the way, but that's how it be.
Yeah.
And this takes me back to my question this week. What has been for you the hardest singularity / pseudo singularity / lost belt to complete? Thank you for your hard work and have a great weekend.
Ooh, what has been the hardest?
I kind of want to say Salem.
Yeah, Salem's, like, forced level cap mechanic really, really held us back.
Like,
and
there's something at
the end are wild.
Like, there's something to be said about, like, difficult fights, break bars, and all that stuff. But, like, I don't think I've ever necessarily felt so hampered by the fact that all my servants got, like, half their level, and I'm just like,
Yeah, and their HP pools are halved and all that other stuff. Your damage
because like, everything was halved, and they kind of compensated it with the mobs. But here's the thing: no matter what you do, your servants are squishy. Like, again, I've complained about this at length. If basically almost any enemy servant gets off a damage MP, there is like a 99% chance that someone is gonna fucking die unless you have specifically prepared to eat that MP. You cannot just hand wave an enemy MP. Like, you either have to be
there are ways to tank, but it's rough.
Like at no point in the game can you just see that red bar full and be like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. When you don't, if you haven't prepared anything. Even fucking, even if you have class advantage against that MP, there's still a good chance your character just might die.
When your HP pool is also halved, because the damage amps for enemy servants are very big.
Yeah.
And then also, this is, once again, they introduced a brand new class, which, yes, you had a welfare to try and fight that class. You did have Mecha Liz to use against a foreigner, but, there was still, a whole new element to deal with, right? So, yeah, Salem, I think, was one of the toughest where I was actually like, man, that took me a lot of tries. I'm trying to think if there were any other big ones. Honestly, Atlantis wasn't that hard for me.
I want to say that Shimosa was kind of interesting because they had the Swordmaster duels, which were difficult.
They were. I don't know if I had a really hard time doing them. I had to reset a couple, but I'm trying to think. I think actually just in terms of number of boss fights that are pretty big, I don't remember that one very well, but I'm pretty sure I had a strategy for that. Somebody mentioned the Raiko Shuten. Yeah, the double header was bad, but I think that only took me a couple of tries. If you know what you're doing and pre-plan around the fact that Musashi's got to be in the front row and explode, you can make it work. I think actually Lost Belt 2, I had to use a decent number of continues in some of the bosses. I had to I think chew through a Saint Quartz or two on one of the Surtur fights or something. Cause I will say, part of that I think was because Surtur was a Saber boss who was designed to fuck up your strategies to beat up Saber bosses before, since he is anti-divine and immune to charm.
Yep.
So, smashing the Urale button didn't work, so I think I had to find a new strategy for that one. But no, definitely the Shimosa and Salem, I think, are the big ones that are that was deliberately designed to be challenging.
Yeah. I think everything else, all the other kind of big hard fights, were appropriate to their scale of story. Fighting, cryptors, fighting, big bosses, which make them, very memorable fights. Like we're talking about this, fighting, Mammoth Ivan and you have Golem Punch, or fighting, Yume Ren when she's literally loose screaming, just exploding in blood constantly. These are all fights I'm story relevance, I'm screaming and stuff.
Yeah,
and so
I don't think those fights are necessarily super hard, right? You have strategies to get around them, you can work with them, you can kind of and you've got some story-related buffs, so
okay.
I guess the only other thing I'm thinking about was, I think maybe some of the Darkened Ushi fights in Babylonia, because you had shit like the Dark Tide stealing your HP and the Earthquake shuffling up your team comps, right? Those took me a few tries back in the day, because
but those are also
extra stuff.
I think I understand what it is. The fights I hate, I think the most challenging are where they take away the tools I already have.
Yeah, and you can argue the Earthquake thing from some of the late fights is like that, because you're well, I would just have a team comp that works, but you guys make me fuck that up.
I think what they said their strategy was around that was to just have 3 servants. So no matter what, it would just always be those 3 servants or something like that. People find a way around things, but going into it blind, you'd be like, ah!
Also, by the way, I've got a news update from Twitter. FGO USA's Twitter has just put out, they have investigated and found that the issue is resolved. So apparently if you were having problems with Android, that is supposed to be resolved now. And if you encounter a problem, it says just wait a while before making a new transaction. They should be able to chase it. If you had any transactions that did glitch, go ahead and just shoot them an email to make sure if it doesn't show up in an update or two. Lucky, what did you gasp about?
Oh no, Billy Shakes just blocked Scotty Shivering Blizzard. So he did not get defense down. How dare. He's still gonna die.
But yeah, so I think I agree with you. The fights that are hard are ones that are just the enemy get ludicrous buffs or challenges where you can't even do anything. Some of those story fights where you get enemies who are 90% damage reduction versus NPs, and it's well, then I just won't NP then.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. So most of them are okay. It's usually the ones where they try and finicky it. Like, even Surtur was like I think I had to redo that one a couple of times because Surtur was deliberately designed to make people do a different thing. And when they do recollection quests for Surtur, I'm gonna dunk on them because I've got a fucking super Orion now. I'm gonna send a caveman to fucking juggle that motherfucker. Anyway, that's probably what's gonna be funny about recollection quests. Is you're gonna get to break out some of your new crazy shit. But yeah, I do believe some of the boss fights in Olympus will be a little bit in that vein. Like you're talking about enemies who will do like charms or stuns. One of the bosses, if I remember correctly, is a ruler, so you have to deal with like ruler class advantage type shit. I'll unpack all of that next week. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I will try and like work through the actual like difficulty factors of some of those hard boss fights and prep everybody. I don't know if it's really supposed to be a huge jump compared to Atlantis' difficulty. I will admit I don't think Atlantis was super difficult. I'm trying to think, were there any of the fights I had to brute force? I think there may have been some I had to spend seals on, but I don't remember them. Like none of them really stick in my mind as like, man, that was hard.
Unfortunately, my memory is shite, and I can't remember off the top of my head.
Well, like I said, usually if it's annoying, it sticks. Like I can visualize the earthquake right now, right? And I can visualize, Sail fighting Rom and Abigail with the low HP. I can even, visualize some of the Musashi fights. Nothing in none of the actual fights in like Atlantis stick in my mind. I mostly remember scenes, like actual story stuff. But yes.
Yes, let us move on. So, thank you for that. This next one comes from King of Apples. You need to take your rating scheme from a 10 to maybe a 4. Maybe 5.
That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen,
We've been doing this for almost 5 years, I think, now. That's not gonna happen.
Nah, people want them mats, yo. Again, this is why I went super hard the first time.
There's fucking bones and stakes and chains and dust. No. The best you're gonna get is, like, right now, you're gonna get raids that people are kind of like, it's alright on.
Like, I'm afraid when Karn is gonna pop out, I'm afraid he's gonna be like...
Oh, yeah, no, he's gonna get slammed. People are gonna be coming for them bones.
I want them bones, too. Please, sir, pass me some bones. Gonna be a beggar on the street. Oh, but this person goes on to say... Question. What change or addition has been made to the Nostuverse lore, courtesy of FGO, do you dislike, wish you can undo?
None.
Sorry, this is me, like, looking out into the middle spaces. I try to think of something that I don't like.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I have any, like... I'm not some purist who is like, no, the old lore was better, because Nasu is a madman who ignores his own rules, so it's not like continuity was super strong.
I'm trying to think about, I'm thinking about, all the interesting, lore bits, like the gods of Olympus are machine gods. I'm like, no, that's fucking cool, yo. That's great.
I didn't even think that was that new, either.
Yeah, no, it's not new, but... it's one of those things that only really got explained in FGO. Like, same with, and if I remember correctly... White Titan's gonna get explained in Olympus, if I believe.
I think they will mention that at least, yes.
I believe so. So, it's like, again, I'm trying to think of Nostiverse. Like, what are some of the weird things? Semen is magic? That's weird, but it's not that weird.
Also, it started as a porn game, so.
Yeah.
If you're gonna fight porn about porn justifications, you have to fight the entire medium. This
is how I try to live my best life. I really try never to dwell on things that are bad unless they are so overwhelmingly bland. I just cannot deal with them. This is why I argue with Omega a lot when he gets mad about stuff. I'm like,
yeah, it's true. I think I get a little more frustrated. Oh, goddamn Whippy.
Whippy!
Sorry, I'm trying, since you made the joke, I'm trying to make a fucking meme. Let's try copy image address. That's right, guys. I'm in the middle of Let's Talk FGO, and I'm gonna shitpost.
No, that's how you do. But, again, Omega will see something to be, frustrated about. I'm like, it's not that bad. And he's like, yes, it is.
Well, I honestly, thinking back on it, especially as I've been playing a lot of games, I think it's more that I don't want it to be bad. It's just, I feel like my frustrations are addressed, and it's hard for me in the moment to be what Lucky you really want to say is just let it go. And in the moment I'm like, no, I can't let it go. I'm still annoyed. give me 15 minutes to naturally let it go.
No, but so again, when I there are some things that I see, I'm just instantly no, I do not like this. I hate this. Please get it out of my face. We were actually talking about this later, Sekiro actually. I actually fairly enjoyed the game, and like even a lot of the difficult boss fights, I was like, yeah, no, this is great. But as soon as I got to that ape, and I spent like 2 days trying to beat it, and I'm just like, no, this is dumb. I hate this. It's fucking done. I'm out. And then I just left it alone and never went back. But it's one of those things I don't like dwell on. I don't think about, and at 2 a.m. I'm not in bed, my phone laying on my chest, and I don't whisper into the darkness, fuck that monkey. Ooh, I think Legendary has had a bad day.
Oh, yeah, he's been talking about jury duty.
I have never been to jury duty because I just fucking ignore them. They're usually not that up and out about, tracking down people who have skipped jury duty. Well, in my state anyway, come to Washington, they don't fucking care.
Nice.
No, I did do that, huh? But, yeah, no, so, like, when you talk about, like, things I dislike in Nossoverse, like, I can't, like, oof. Yeah, having to deal with other people's, stupid. I don't know, maybe you should just, like, actually just yelled at people and got thrown out.
Well, if you're actually in the courtroom, you gotta be careful about contempt of court, but, like, that is kind of some of the stuff of, like, that should come out in the voir dire process of just, like, please no.
But, like, when I think about Nossoverse stuff, like, there's a lot of things I find weird, and sometimes they're, like, story decisions I don't necessarily like or agree with, but I don't think they're bad. Like, everyone has, like, their ideal, like, situation, like, their idealized story, I want to say. Some people... Sorry, I threw my dice bag at my screen at that meme.
Yes! My job here is done.
That was that scoff of disgust.
Swag.
But, I completely lost my train of thought. But, like, Nossover lore, like, again, there's, like, I know there's people who look at things and just lift theirs, yes, into the good times. Welcome into this embrace. But, like, there's some things I don't necessarily, like, I think is the best, like, lore, like, honestly, like, I don't, not even lore-wise, I think all the fucking Nossoverse lore is rad as fuck.
I mean, usually it's written with the purpose of being rad, and there are some people in our weird postmodernist cynical society who are like, no, you can't just be rad, you must be, like, critical, and I'm like, and then Nasu puts on his fucking hater blocker sunglasses and is like, nah, I'm gonna be rad, and then he, like, skateboards away on his Excalibur brand skateboard or something, but, like, it's just, yeah.
If I can't find a picture of Artoria on a fucking Excalibur skateboard, I'm gonna be
There's gotta
really
be an Artoria on a skateboard somewhere.
But, like, honestly, like, the thing that usually pisses me off about, like, lore is when people want to take, like, weird liberties about it. Like, every time someone, like, talks about how there's no way that Tamamo can, be in love with the FGO protagonist because she's actually in love with the extra protagonist, I'm like, guys, really?
Oh, I mean, I don't even know how true that is anymore. That seemed to be the setup Nasu was going for because the Hakuno is a very weird character where they are a character who is distinct, but also they are distinct by being a complete, literal blank slate. It's kind of the FGO protagonist, right? Like, the FGO protagonist has a personality, but also Nasu literally writes in interviews, yes, I've deliberately written them to be kind of an open slate.
Hey! That's good enough.
Writing skill, sick! Yes, that's how this universe works. Correct. But, like, the relationship that Hakuno has with the extra servants is, like, in the fandom very precious. But also I feel like FGO is not necessarily written to be the most protective. Like, I think the only like ironclad ship I think is Medea Kazuki, by virtue of the fact that we won't write about regular Medea. We just don't put her in things. We don't threaten that ship because we just have Lily do everything. God damn it. But like
we have a lot of ships. Like we have we have a lot of cute couples in Chaldea and stuff. But like it's one of the things of like people seem to just harp on the fact that it's like no, Tamamo's only for Hakuno or Hakunon, depending on your type, no judgment. But I'm like, I will literally like pull up like, screenshots from interludes and be all like, Tamamo calling being like, say, I'm gonna be your wife, or she's like, talks about she has memories of another time that sometimes doesn't feel real. I'm just all like, what is this? What is this information right here? Why do you not see this? And people are just all like, I see nothing. I'm like, you motherfuckers! It's like, no, like, I don't think it's necessarily people like, it's never the lore I have a problem with. It's the people who interpret the lore for their own ways. I'm just like, I have facts right here staring you in the face.
Yeah,
and you do not want to look
when
at
I
this.
first saw this question, I was thinking, I'm not interested in lore. I'm mostly just interested in, like, maybe story beats, because, like, some of that early story stuff is a little clumsily written. They just didn't.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't putting in the time and the vibes, and they weren't... Nasu wasn't spending 6 months, turning himself into mushroom powder, writing 60,000 words or whatever. Drying up in a corner so he's going to blow away in the breeze, right? Like, they weren't taking it that seriously. So, there are some notes that are, like, a little weak, but that's literally everything. Fucking everything you love, that has weak notes, right? Fucking... To just kill time, because I don't know, it's just the mood I've been in. I've been re-listening to Dogs Must Die, the JoJo podcast I listened to, because they're about to wrap part 4, actually. That'll be next week, will be their, like, recap episode. I'm a little sad they're going to take some time to talk about Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan, as opposed to moving on right to Golden Wind, but whatever. But I've just been listening back to the stuff, and I've been thinking about, because they point out some of the soft spots, but, like, yeah, even the JoJos you like Araki's not perfect. The adaptations for the anime are very good, but there are beats that are a little shallow. Remember Starfinger, y'all? Remember how Araki doesn't, quote-unquote, forget, but just never chooses to acknowledge Starfinger? It's because it was dumb. Like, everything you love has weak moments, because no author can, like, do a pitch perfect, right?
Right.
Like, it's just, there's... You can't be perfect, so... I think the only thing is... FGO is... Yeah, that's a plot thread that's never resolved. It probably never will be. Who was the weird pompadour guy who saved Josuke's life? I don't fucking know. I'm pretty sure it's Josuke cast adrift in the Sea of Time, but we didn't go that route? Anyway, we're not here to talk about JoJo tonight, anyway. Though I have been feeling a strong urge to just rewatch all of JoJo, because I've realized it's March and they still haven't put out more Stone Ocean on Netflix. I'm dying out here.
Don't worry, soon we get the major. Yeah. And the major's ass. They are separate.
Thank goodness. That's another thing that's been killing me. I mean, actually, what I should do is I should watch all of Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex again. I'm not going to start reading the manga. That's a whole different time-consuming thing. I'm okay with reading. I'm very good at binging, as evidenced by that conversation I had about Gunner Creek Court. Which, by the way, that's another thing. I will probably bring this up again on What's Up, but I've been watching Tom Siddell's videos about Gunner Creek Court, where not only does he himself talk about, like, times where he doesn't think he had a thing that resonated with the audience correctly, or he could have taken more time on panels, but, like, past, like, chapter, like, 50, he starts getting his wife, who is also, I believe, a webcomic artist, to, like, play the other half of the video with him, so they have back and forth, so it's, like, there's even more opportunity to discuss points. So, like, that's my real draw, is lore stuff doesn't really bother me, especially because lore can almost always be... Sorry, I got a little dry there. Lore can almost always be expounded on later, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whereas story beats are something we can't just remake.
I don't know. Well, there is the whole thing of, like, sometimes of death of the author, and sometimes, because, again, you like to get into this when people start, yelling about, like Gil's armor and stuff, that if it wasn't said in the story and stuff, it doesn't fucking count. So you got to be careful about saying that,
well, I mean, I meant lore can be expounded upon in the context of... It's like we talked about the Greek gods as machines thing, right? That is something Nasu has hinted at for a long time, but was never shown on screen. That is an expansion of pre-existing lore. The thing about Gil's armor I just want is that, like, I need somebody to come... If they're gonna make it an official data source thing, I need it to be an official data source. Nasu needs to just stop saying it in interviews and, like, put it in a materials guide. But there's, like... I don't want to harp on this too much, but still, there's no, like, noble phantasm and no skill, so what is the armor? If it's a thing, you have to give it stats in the construct. We have, like, rules. But no, they're just like, fuck you, Gil doesn't make the rules. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna ignore that then, because then we can't have a logical discussion about lore. And honestly, with Fate, sometimes you shouldn't have a logical discussion about lore. It is, as we said, true. It is just, rad kickflips or whatever. Sometimes you have to take a step back and go, it just is what it is, man.
Now I just want to put a fucking skateboard under our mushroom emote and be like, rad.
We can probably do that at it.
I can do that at it.
But yeah.
And that's another Billy Shakedown. So. Alright.
Yeah.
That's enough talking about that. We are gonna move on.
Oh no. Check Let's Talk FGO. Loth can't be in Patreon chat, but he saw I tweeted the meme, so. This fucking guy. He does that so fast these days.
God damn it, Loth. Oh, Where was
I think we should find our next mailbag.
I have our next mailbag. It's right here. So this next one comes from Soup is trying and failing at fixing her sleep schedule, but how can it be possible when classes end at 5 or 7 p.m.? I don't necessarily have an answer for this. I pass. The time I pass out is between 11 and 1, and I get up, at like 6:30 in the morning.
So because Spring Forward is going to happen this weekend, I also need to unfuck my sleep schedule.
Shit, that's right.
Just because I'll be waking up and getting out of bed and being fully awake and operating at 4 p.m. because I am not a morning person. It takes me a while to roll out. I usually need an hour to actually be okay, all my body parts work. I can stand up. My eyes can see. I am not, going to melt in the sun. My brain is actually functioning. Let's get some coffee, kind of a thing. So I need to set an alarm and rotate around. But I've done some bad sleeps. Lucky talks about, passing out at 11 his time. There are times when for the show it's I have to be awake at 6 a.m. so I can finish the upload. Watch out for that next week, by the way. Watch out for Sleepy Omega, like I said. Spring Forward, that's gonna fuck my shit up for sure. But we'll try and, get the things in the place and the stuff. So I'm gonna set an alarm this time. Oh, this is a gift. I shall retweet it.
Omega's talking about, sleep, and I just saw this on my Twitter. I'm perfect. What kills me is there's 3 fucking cats in this picture.
I mean, Jean from Bayonetta is absolutely got to be a cat lady.
Alright, but moving on. So they say, question, hello, Omega and Lucky. Hopefully you guys have had better sleep than I. Let's see, I sleep. Well, let's see, I also have insomnia, so usually I lay awake in bed for an hour no matter what, and then I always wake up before my alarm goes off, actually. That's something I hate with a fucking passion. I'm why?
I think it's your brain is coding itself. It's this alarm's gonna go off in 5 minutes. Fuck that. I'm gonna wake up now.
No, that's what happened. But the thing that worse is when I wake up a half hour earlier, I'm just why, brain? And it's no, we were good. I'm no, we're not. I was dreaming about dragon girls. That was the best time. Now I'm in reality and everything sucks. And I hurt.
Usually I just roll over and go back to sleep, but...
Yeah, that's because you don't got a 9 to 5.
True. Well, I mean, if I had 30 minutes, I would be I can sleep for 30 more minutes. But then I also don't usually set alarms, and I don't sleep for 30 minutes. Usually it's an hour, so we'll see how that works out, like I said, when I work on my sleep schedule. Just because I need to be conscious at times that other humans exist so I can do the content.
But as I interrupted this person, but they continue on with, since the Apocrypha is almost upon us, who is your go-to raid boss killer servants? For me, and the author has always been MVP boss killer for everything, especially raids. For me, I have mentioned this, I believe, twice. It's Vlad. I have an NP5 level 90 of Vlad with 10-10-1. That's stonk damages. I break him. Let's see here. What is my setup right now? It's Vlad, and then I have Tomamo and Scotty, and then I swap in Waver. Yeah, I break 1,000,000 every time. Just brr.
Yep.
With my Waver and my Scotty. Well, actually, my Tomamo, Waver, and Scotty. Actually, I think I need to put 10-10-10 on Merlin just so he doesn't feel fucking left out. Now that I think about it, I think he's only at 666. Yeah, I should do that. But yeah, no, it's then I'm just gonna put Merlin in there for no goddamn reason, just so I can be all the support casters go.
Hey, he's got an attack up.
Yeah, but words no. My MP5 Vlad, which I got unwillingly, by the way. It was non-consensual Vladening. He came over here and shoved all his crochet on me, and I was just God damn it.
Just picture Lucky being trussed up in a sweater without sleeves and a knit hat and a scarf, and he's just I did not ask for this.
But he has been most useful. Actually, I should probably like I said, I'm the raids are only 700k. I might see if I can remove some steps so I can go even more sped.
Yeah, you don't need to go full Damagino. I mean, the servant I've actually been using the most in this one is just because, like I said, because of stuff I've been doing, was Jack, because I can make that work with Fran for easy damage. But usually my raid go-tos is historically been Jolter, although, funnily enough, Alter John is not in the bonus servant list. Funny how that works. Also slightly bullshit, since we get extra... I believe Saber Astolfo not only is on the banner, but also gets a bonus in this. Hacks. They probably think it would be too easy with a raid event. But they put Kentucky on the list because he was going to be in Apocrypha. So that's my other one is, since I got a Kentucky, that's my big single target Berserker Hugo Burr. So I feed him damage bonuses, and then I have a Merlin, I have a Waver. We can make this work. Actually, I think that Wombo combo does work, because Kentucky's got his own battery, so that should be 100%.
Yes. If you got Animal Communication up full, and you have a Waver, yeah.
I think my Animal Communication is full, or it's at least like level 8. I'll take a look at it, because I will need to do more raids to finish out my ladder. I was just, like I said, hamming the frame one, because that was autopilot. It was give Jack damage CE, put Jack to 100%, go. So long as I have 3 Jack cards, it's over in one turn. But yeah, Jolter was usually, I did a lot of Jolter double Merlining. Before Merlin even existed, I was doing shit like Jolter Hans Leonidas. That was a very powerful raid setup for, I believe, Rashomon. That's my move.
That's his move. And with that move, we're going to move on. Hey. The next one comes from damage bonus is still hell of a drug. I'm going to have that weird whiplash when it goes away and I'm looking at the small numbers. I'll be like, where did it all go? A small violin will play in the background and, I'll just, be on the beach, just staring into the sunset. But they say, question! What was the track featured in Salieri's Valentine's theme? The dark brooding but synth-like track that plays when you give him chocolate. Unfortunately, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. I sped through all my mails this year, because other than the new ones. Maybe chat can let us know. I mean, obviously I could pull it up on my phone, but that would require me to listen while doing the show.
I mean, I could, but then I'd have to go through the fucking track list and try to figure it out, and that's going to take way too long. But I do want to take this opportunity to remind you that you do have a jukebox in your My Room that will let you play samples, at least, so you can maybe get an idea. That's probably your best bet.
And if you got Celery in there, that means that it's from, like, Lost Belt 3 up, I think? We don't have that soundtrack yet.
Do we not? Oh.
No.
But, yeah,
the official version of that soundtrack hasn't come out. I think that's not until, like, all of Lost Belt 5 is out.
So, this is what you do. Go to your event records, pull up Valentine, find Celery, listen to it, then go to My Room, go down, go to, like, was it Music Player? I can't remember what the fuck it's called. But it's there, and just start scrolling, start listening. Is it a convoluted way to do this? Hell yeah, but fuck it.
At the very least, you'll be able to test it for the most part.
Yeah. And we shall move on. This next one comes from a lot of Mach, the powder who can't stop, won't stop. It's too early for powder jokes. I don't care what you say.
Also, we've de-powdered it. There's no Nero in it. It's Tesla and Space Odysseus. Oh.
But they say, hey,
leaning back and stretching my legs.
So they say, hey, Lucky and Meg, hope the raids are going well with the Apoc rerun so far, sending you both stamina and endurance vibes. Do we have a sound for that? I guess it'd be like, something like that. For this week, I thought I'd try something new and let you pick what question I'd like to answer. We've seen that a wide range of wishes for the Holy Grail, including war, peace, access to the red, and monetary wealth, assuming that wishes further from the realm of possibility require more power to enact, i.e., wealth versus reincarnation. Is it possible to get multiple smaller wishes from a single grail due to the wish each requiring less energy to invoke? Or, what character would you like a line of NPCs to be made of, similar to the Nobus? I mean, we could just answer both. Fuck yeah, we'll just answer both.
Yeah,
we should.
But you wrote both questions.
Yeah, I know.
And, you have no power here.
So on the first thing, no, I think this is one of those things that is like contract and it's like inscribed in the ritual and whatnot. You get one wish, no matter how big or small. Because this is something I will say, I will let you know, if you check it out, all the servants have like a wide variety of risks, and some are very, actually, very quite simple. Some are, like quite big. And they're all equal under the Grail, because all the Grail is just a huge amount of magical energy.
Yeah.
So, I think it's just one wish. But I think it's fair.
I think hypothetically, the logic of, well, if you could partition the energy, you could get multiple smaller wishes. I think that's sound, but I agree with what Lucky said. The contract is one wish, so when you invoke the Grail to make the wish, it just fires away, and you can't just be like, well, you have some energy left, so give me also this. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Nah. And what character would you like a line of NPCs made of, similar to Nobus? Actually, Omega, do you have one off the top of your head? Because I do.
I do not off the top of my head.
I would like a line of commas.
It's pretty good. There's a lot of comma variations.
Like, redrop literally cannot be stopped.
Yeah, redrop's an absolute madman.
Like I said, we had the male commas recently. We have all the costume commas from before. Comma by herself has 3 forms. Like, we just need a mini comma, and then we need to put different hats on them.
And constantly, also redrop constantly like redrawing CEs, but with comma now.
Oh yeah.
I think honestly because it's funnier that way, because redrop was doing that kind of thing already. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit, that reminds me. I got to see if redrop has a cleaner version of that comma with glasses, because I definitely want to make a sticker out of that with her with the glasses.
Redrop probably. Most of those images are like on Twitter are like in huge size.
Let me go on Twitter real quick. Let me see if I can do it.
Some clean images.
It's probably not clean, but if I think the only thing in the corner is the FGO thing. I'm like, I could put down the sticker. I don't care. Let's see, it's OTMM.
I don't have any big ideas leaping to mind.
Oh, redrop, did you do that one? Terrifying. Yeah, y'all know you want this as a sticker. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Let's see. So, moving on. So, this next one comes from a notorious Stan who is still waiting for Mordred to get her battle continuation, B rank. Greetings, surviving the game of Omega and beyond incredible lucky. Teehee. Let's see here. I hope you're both doing well. I am sending you the good vibes. Wah, 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 wah. And this is a long one. I am not, if I should ask this or not. You forgot a word there, my dude. I ask you to read it to yourself first. Too late!
I already read it to myself first. It's okay.
Okay. Question: have made in your YouTube channel into an LLC, limited liability company. I don't want to come off as rude or disrespectful. I sense that I'm overstanding the boundaries. I took a still business course and thought you could save a few $100,000 while filing taxes. I remember the both of you saying you wanted to get a new desktop with better monitors. If you know a business lawyer and an accountant, they should be able to explain it better than I, plus inform you on the paperwork process. I originally was going to put this into Discord, but I wasn't sure if it asked before. Have a great rest of your weekend. References, artist/band, Skillet, Album, Dominion. Oh, Skillet, Album, Dominion. Excuse me. So, first off, I'm not going to consider you like over RuneStone. We always appreciate advice, especially advice given freely. But you have to consider, we do not actually make so much money on this channel that we actually have to consider filing taxes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say was, it is eventually in my plans, but currently, Patreon, because of laws, Patreon is like, here's the point when we have to send you the W-9 and all the stuff, and we have been doing this for a couple of years, and Patreon has been like, hey, you made enough money, we have to send you the thing. Like, yeah, we are not quite at that level.
No,
I appreciate the concern, but it's we're not spending that much money on taxes for this that we need to get that much of a discount. That would eventually be the direction I want to take this, but yeah, it's just we don't have the input yet. Like, if you hear me complaining about like and I don't think I need a new monitor, though Lucky may have said he needed another monitor. I either need to buy a new machine or I need to just buy a graphic card, whatever is actually cheaper. But there's no point in the tax process where I'm like, damn, Uncle Sam's stealing all my GPU money. It's more like, boy, I wish I was making more YouTube money and more Patreon money so I could buy a new GPU so we could do more, make more money, make more content, make more things for people. So, yeah. Honestly, like, as Lucky said, I don't think it's overstepping. I appreciate, when people give actual, like, constructive advice for free, I'm
trying to remember. Yeah, I don't think we necessarily qualify in any tax bracket, but I do believe that some of our income is automatically taken out, but that's for YouTube's end, not our end, if I remember correctly.
Yes, Google sends me the note for how much YouTube has paid me in a year, since we've been partnered, because they report all of it as, like, because it's, like, gig work or something. It's whatever way that makes YouTube and Google have to pay the least amount of taxes, but they do actually, like, take their cut. Patreon obviously takes their fees off the top and stuff, which I assume accounts for, like, what they have to talk about to the IRS, but yeah. It's not a crazy amount of money we make. Though, yes, I do have anxiety about this kind of thing. It was bad for a little while in February when every fucking tax provider was like, free filing, do this, do that. I'm like, no, shut up, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Stop reminding me. I don't need to worry about this right now, we're good. Sorry, I had to take a pause there because I, like, rotated my eyes to my second monitor. And then there's just the comma glasses. That is going to be a good sticker, if we can clean it up. I presume you'll leave the parrot in?
Oh, yeah, totally. Let's see here.
But yeah, no, to the thing about overstepping, no, it's fine. I guess some people might get a little, like, annoyed if you're, like, trying to give them business advice, and I know that there's a little bit of, the hustle culture or whatever, but it's fine. We're okay. Technically, when YouTube asked me recently in a poll, where I did have some things to say about, they asked me, like, what could YouTube do to make your audience reach bigger? I was like, I don't fucking know, YouTube. You tell me. You control that as far as I know. Like, I would love to be able to tell you what I think you should do to make my content more accessible, but I can't because I don't know why the content does differently.
Yeah, according to a quick research, the amount you have to make before you have to start filing for taxes, this was back in 2020, was $12,000 and $12,400.
Mm-hmm. And some of that, I think, depends on states. I think some states are a little bit higher, some are actually quite lower. But, yeah.
I don't know, but again, we have to be basically making over $1,000. You have to be basically making over $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Which we do not, by the way.
No. We'd love it. That'd be great.
Oh, yeah.
That's still not above the poverty line, but it would be cool.
Actually, no, wait, that's personal. I wonder if businesses probably are different, but...
Yeah, it's still... I mean, that would be the reason why you would make a limited liability company, so you could be like, I'm doing all this as a business expense. So it doesn't matter. It's fine. I pay myself.
Ah, here it is. However, if you're self-employed, you're required to file a tax return if your net income for your business, let me see here, is $400 or more. Let me see here. Is that for a month?
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound right, because then I feel like Patreon would have yelled at me before. Because technically I still, even though this is a partnership with me and Lucky, on Patreon I still list us as an individual, not a business, because those are your two options. You can't just be two dudes, or it's like, I am one dude, or I am a business, a company, with all the company stuff.
Well, no, then that's definitely because as a dude, you do not have to file. If you're a business, maybe they would have yelled at you, but I don't know if we're a business yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's the weird thing about the creator economy, is what is the line between you're just a guy doing stuff, or a couple of guys even, and other stuff like that, and then an actual, like, business model, right? Which I'm not sure where that line is, and obviously I would, I would never want to annoy the IRS. Insert that clip of the Joker talking about that here. But it's all just, like, in a thing. Suffice it to say, if you're concerned about, like, tax breaks and rebates, we are not at a level where the government is taking a lot of my money as taxes anyway. Though, that sales tax on online things does get a little feisty sometimes. Remember when everything was tax-free on Amazon?
I remember that.
And then Uncle Sam was like, hold on a second. I feel like I'm being cheated.
Oh, yeah, no, don't remember. Same thing happened with Google.
Yeah. But, that's how it is.
Sorry, now I'm looking at tax codes and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, you just said net is 400. I'm just all like, if you only have a profit of $400 a year, that's kind of small potatoes.
But that's net profit, or net income, which is income after everything. So I guess that makes sense. That still seems small. Like, if you're making, like you said, if you're making 400 after expenses, damn.
Like, on a yearly basis. On a yearly basis, yeah, no. On a monthly basis, no, we're still fucking way below that. But on a yearly basis, God.
I don't even know. I mean, technically, we're not running this thing like a business, so I don't know if it counts. But
well, it doesn't count. Like I said,
we'll figure it out later. Business world is confusing sometimes.
All right. So we move on.
I hope you enjoyed that brief. No, you fell down the research hole.
I did.
By the way, if you want to hear a saga of falling in the research hole, watch this week's OSP. The impetus is literally Red falls down the research hole. But yeah, it is always a confusing thing, and it's almost like something we've bemoaned on WhatsApp several times. It's almost like society doesn't actually prepare you for that bit of your life in school or anything.
Well, honestly, I don't even think if they tried to teach you in school, listen, guys, real talk, no one understands the tax code. People literally have to study fucking...
Yeah, things like accountants get paid for money.
Yeah. No, like, there's some people out there saying there's no actual fucking tax code in the fucking thing saying you have to pay fucking taxes. It's just something people made up. It's weird, y'all. It's fucking weird. I don't like taxes. Well, excuse me, I take this back. I don't like the tax code as is written right now because god fucking damn it, it's convoluted.
Yeah, I'm not one of those guys who's like taxation equal theft or anything, even if it feels like that sometimes. But it's more like the American tax system is kind of befuddling, and unfortunately, much like some of our issues with our legislature, that's probably not unlikely to get fixed anytime soon because the people who regulate the tax system are the people who want there to be the tax rules because they make money that way. Yeah, and also that is true. It changes every year based on your state and what the federal government's opinions on things are, which is ever shifting. As I currently live in Florida, which is dealing with its own weird midterm conservative resurgence hellhole.
Fun time. Tonikaku.
Was it Dallas who said this to me? Somebody said, I think it was Dallas. Somebody said to me recently, like, I need to stop people to stop saying at least next year will be better.
That sounds like something.
Was that Dallas at Delta Green?
It sounds like something Dallas would say. The anarchist fuck.
We're all anarchist fucks here. Guys, can we join a non-hierarchical commune? I'm gonna need the rest of you to do all the work. I'll just do this, and then I'm gonna need you guys to help me out here and do all the other stuff, like grow the food.
That's how it works.
Spin the dynamos so we can have the electricity to produce the show.
Your job is culture and entertainment.
Well, I mean that's you know the anarchist ideal is that we all just get to sit around and do whatever all day, but somebody has to turn the dynamos, and nobody wants to be the man in the hamster wheel.
This is why I keep telling people why anarchism is a great idea. It's only a transitional phase. Oh.
Anyway, now that we've gotten into your economic and political theory, we have some left. I think we're slightly out of sync, so I'm not sure how many questions we got left. 5 or 6? 4 or 5?
Oh, let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 here.
All right, 5. Good guess, me. And the show has been being recorded anyway for almost 2 hours, so we can scooch on to our next question.
Okay, cool. So this next one comes from Witty Alias pending peer review. Good day, looking to make. Are there any Cowboys or Wild West figures you would like to see in FGO? Wishing you all the best and get your raid on. I have one that comes off immediately off the top of my head. It's not necessarily a like what one would consider, but I definitely want a Pecos Bill.
Yeah.
Like again, let's get those American legends in there. Some people would immediately go to Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, but believe it or not, while their stand is kind of well known, I don't think it's necessarily famous.
I mean, Doc Holliday for sure is definitely a character, right?
Yeah.
Like, There's a lot there that you could work with.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Other Wild West figures? I don't know if I'd necessarily call him Wild West. No. David Crockett is more like a frontier man.
Yes. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. Listen, my last surviving grandparent, my paternal granddad, he just watches westerns all day. That's what he does to kill time in his old age. So
that's what my best friend's dad did. 70-year-old man sitting in front of the TV on Facebook on his laptop, just westerns all day. It's just like that's a life.
I mean, it was popular when they were young. Mm-hmm. We're gonna be watching anime when we're old men at 80.
I know, it's gonna be so great. It just makes me wonder what people are gonna be watching in the future.
Future culture is always a weird one.
Oh yeah,
you never know what people are gonna do. Like some things seem eternal, like variations on like rock and roll music is like that's in there. The concept of the rock band has stuck, but there's a lot of variations you can do in there, right? So what style will be popular? And of course, then there's the retroing and everything. But anyway, let's.
Well, anyway, so Pecos Bill is my go-to. Wrestling tornadoes, using rattlesnakes as lassos.
I should turn this all that fan servant. I got a couple in there. I think I said it before. Doc Holliday's a pretty funny character. Well, maybe not funny, but he's a pretty interesting character. You got some stuff to go on. And then, of course, there's the famous line from the movie Tombstone. I'm your Huckleberry. Very powerful moment. But as you guys know, because I am a giant, I guess you'd say gear nerd, if you've ever heard the phrase, God made man, Samuel Colt made them equal.
Actually, no, that'd be actually pretty... Actually, yeah, what is the actual history of firearms? American firearms.
Samuel Colt was a very prodigious firearm maker. The original, Colt company made a lot of different stuff. And the 45 long Colt, very iconic. The Peacemaker, literally called the Peacemaker. I haven't brewed that one up. I should, so we can do a Fan Servant Friday, Wild West package. Because like I said, I got a couple of those, including I think I did my design for Pecos Bill in here somewhere.
Because we had
that would be a cool one of those similar to Billy the Kid, right? Like a servant who's not super powerful, but just by virtue of his mystery powers, Sam Colt made all men equal kind of thing, which is part of the flex and the gun mythology, right?
Oh, okay. So the first American, I use this quote, firearm was actually the Gatling gun used during the Civil War.
Yeah, that was us.
So that's the official, quote unquote American thing. Actually, I'd rather have Ann Oakley than Buffalo Bill.
Annie, get your gun.
Mm-hmm.
That would also be a good one. I think I did that. Did I do that profile?
Well, again, like I know Ugly would be good, but I feel that gives that overlap with Calamity Jane.
There's a little bit of distinction, because
There's a little bit.
obviously was a trick shooter, and I believe actually she was more famous for the rifle.
Yes.
Yeah. I should. Yeah. I think I already got some notes. Actually, jot those down. I'll remember to do those fan servant profiles so we can do that that's a foursome. Because I've already got Doc Holliday and Pecos Bill. If I do Annie Oakley and Sam Colt and I actually write those up, we can actually do that as a whole thing. Expect a lot of archers, guys, because guns. Annie Oakley has to wear sunglasses for reasons. Did you get it? Did you get it in the audience? Anyway, I wrote my notes. I'll keep that in mind for a future topic.
Oh. The Springfield rifle was the first breech-loading rifle. Interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that Bonnie and Clyde are Wild West. That's a Depression era thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's Tommy guns and rum running cars. Unless you're Fallout New Vegas, in which case they also did that while also being Wild West. It reminds me, I saw that New Vegas is on PlayStation Now. I don't know how that would work if I got PlayStation Now and also tried to stream from my PS5. That might not work.
It might not work.
If we were gonna do New Vegas, we should just get some multiplayer mods and play it on PC.
I mean, I got it on PC.
Do I actually have it on PC? I think I do. I should track it down. If I don't, I should get it because it's only on my PS3, which I can't play on right now because my current PS3 is not bricked but has a heating problem.
Oh, the Springfield was also the first rifled one. Sick. Sorry, Lucky's in the gun research hole now.
Yeah, we did some stuff. Part of it, I think, is just the nature of America calling themselves out with the Second Amendment, but we've got an interesting historical relationship with the gun.
Well, again, I'm looking at these. A lot of these were let's see, the 1850s. What was in the 1850s? I forgot.
Civil War.
Yeah.
And the Civil War is interesting because of, historically, you guys may remember this from your history classes possibly, but the Civil War was the quote-unquote first modern war because that was when we used things like trains, ironclads, rifled rifles, heavy emphasis on artillery and cannon work, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things where, and very very efficient and brutal, very deadly. It's kind of a lesson that it took a lot of Europe until the First World War to learn that, hey, high rates of fire and artillery strikes are bad. There was even ballooning in the Civil War, actually. There was some trench warfare, but yes, there was also technically air power. That was the first use of observation balloons, I believe. But we learned a lot of nasty lessons in that run.
Yeah, we did.
And there's a reason why when you get to the First World War, American rifles and sidearms are in robust, large calibers, whereas officers' sidearms for most European countries were little 22 or 32. The idea was that you used your sidearm to keep discipline among your men, fucking later Soviet commissar style. That's why you have a sidearm. As opposed to what Americans and Brits, with our, rampant explorative colonialism, was like, no, you need your sidearm so you have a big backup bullet for when your main gun runs out of bullets because there's, angry locals coming screaming out of the brush to stab you with a pointed stick. Which, was still true in World War I. You gotta watch out for that bayonet charge.
6 bayonets?
I mean, when you're on technically repeating but not automatic rifles, right? Everything's bolt action. Do you really want to have an empty chamber when a guy with a bayonet comes hopping into your trench, and then you're gonna pull your little 32 caliber revolver and hope it stops him?
Hell no! I'm gonna just reverse my fucking my musket so the buttons for it. I'm gonna jam it in their goddamn nose.
Which is why a lot of rifles had steel strike plates in the butt. Big, heavy, resilient.
Again, this is why I never understood why people swing with the barrels. No, don't swing with the barrel. Swing with the butt.
Yep, that is arguably the one of the most structurally reinforced components and also the least useful components. If you accidentally shear the stock off, you can still shoot the gun. If you bend the barrel, you cannot fire the weapon. All right, that's probably a funny diversion enough. Let's see.
Keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah,
no,
that was just a short one. So.
So,
what I meant was not everybody, but every point of that question.
Yep. So, we shall move on. Thank you very much for that. I hope you enjoyed us talking about guns! The true American pastime. This next one comes from Agent 418, who says, "Hello, Lucky and Omega. Have a great weekend. P.S. My birthday Lucky has gotten an SSR per pack." You have a birthday, Lucky?
yeah, it's SSR, obviously. It's lucky with hats.
I guess. Oh, clearly. PSS, make sure to check what mats are in this year's Lotto not burn yourself out. Honestly, it doesn't really matter, because I'm probably going to do like 20 boxes and be like, lay on floor.
I mean, there's, I think the emphasis here is that some of the items we can get from the raids will also be in the Lotto, but that's also like 6 months from now.
Hope you have a great week. What's this? Megas posted something. Excuse me while I am distracted. It looks depressing.
The color palette of Gunner Court is often very gray, yes. But hat. It's just the first thought I had when I was like lucky with hat.
I need to make more tier bits with hats.
We don't have a party hat one, actually, do we?
No, we don't.
That's probably useful.
Mm-hmm. I'll put it on the sticky note. Party hat. But we move on! This next one comes from the Tyrant King, now super excited about the new Fox Waifu and Vanguard. For some reason, I thought that said vampire for a second. I was just like, what? But nay! I was just dumb. Hey, Rusty Eater Lucky, and Dr. Panda Omega. So about the question of one of the comments left last week about the Babylon Weiss cards. I did some research. Apparently, they might be out of print. So they came out of January last year. 13 to 15 products have been released since then, and Weiss seems to be a very flavor of the month type of game since it prints out major anime titles as cards. With that being said, are there any out of print products that you wouldn't mind trying to get? Take care and have fun with Raid! Reference is Sabakui Bisco. I actually need to catch up on that anime. It's very entertaining and weird. But out of print, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I actually have one, which was I always wanted to get another set of those FGO like randomized wafer cards, like before Arcade, the quote unquote FGO in real life. But yeah, getting them is very hard because you have to basically like import them from Japan, which, as discussed, is like $20 in shipping. Which listen, they're delicious vanilla wafers. They're not that good. They're not $20 of shipping delicious. When I can literally go online and buy. I'm going to Google it right now. Vanilla wafers. Not Nilla wafers, vanilla wafers. It's different Google.
I don't actually like Nilla wafers because when I was young, my mom would always use them to make, that what was it, like banana wafer pudding stuff, and I hated it because I never liked banana.
Here we go. Baruko wafer vanilla. 5.8 ounces. Big lots. $1.19 with curbside pickup. Apparently vanilla wafers are vegan.
I refuse to believe that.
Well, honestly, the kinds that are processed probably are.
Oh, yes.
Because where does the dairy enter into it, I guess? Even though there probably should be some fucking milk or butter in there somewhere. Listen, we put milk and butter in a lot of stuff. We're weird.
Anyway.
We're not here to talk about vanilla wafers. Other than Omega is mentally adding that to his next Walmart order.
Unfortunately, when you say out of print things, I don't necessarily think of cards, because I am not a card collector. I am a video game collector.
Well, yeah, it would be more like video games and books, which there are. Video games go out of print. It's true.
It's true. I'm still like scrambling trying to find certain games to add to my collection. I finally was able to get a copy of Suikoden 5. It was an under the table deal. Don't ask where I got it, but I was able to get it for real cheap. I'm pretty sure someone stole it. But no, I can't find a copy of I wish I could find a copy of Drakengard 2. I know people don't like it, but god damn it has a Drakengard name on it, and I will have a complete collection. Let's see here. It's mostly like PS2 games and probably like SNES games, like Sega games. Just basically anything before the PS3 era. That's where my thing is, because you can find a lot of PS3 games still, honestly, but once you hit PS2, some things are just weird. Let's see here. I want to try and find what I've been trying to find for the life of me. No, trust me. Architect, the Xenosaga trilogy was one of the first things I completed. I think I talked about that. That was one of my first purchases from Shop Goodwill. Is I bought Xenosaga Episode 3 for $200. I think it was $176 if I remember correctly. It was nuts. But I know some of these games go for Xenosaga Episode 3 is over $100. It's closer to $200. Suikoden 5 is over over $100. I think it's anywhere between $100 and $150. I believe Drakengard is over $75 right now. I can't remember off the top of my fucking head. Again, I've been talking to some people, working some context, getting into the network for some of these. And then other ones you can just find for $9.99, in case and all. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on that old supply and demand.
Like, recently I've been wondering if I want to get, like, let's see here, and then, like, it's just, like, again, when I talk, like, when I think out of print, I think, like, out of print video games and whatnot.
Yep.
Books you don't necessarily have that problem with, because there's old stock everywhere, unfortunately.
Yeah, unless your book is, like, a weird print run, you can usually find... I think the biggest thing for me is, that I've had trouble with is role-playing games.
Ah, yeah.
Because that's usually different than literature. It's harder to find some of that stuff.
Well, it's lit, like... Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, I felt that coming on. Like, with tabletop games, like, I definitely feel like there's, like, since it's more a, quote-unquote niche things, they don't have as big printing runs as, like, a good book will. Like, it doesn't, like, go to as many audiences as whatnot. Mm-hmm. I think this is the problem with light novels sometimes, too. It's like, I don't think they have as big a print runs. I'm just more on top of it than I was when I was buying PS2 games back when I was in high school. God, well, actually, I really do need to actually sit down and actually compilate my list again to find what I need. Because I got Final Fantasy... Actually, do I have every Final Fantasy? Well, console Final Fantasy from 7 on? I think I do. No, technically 6 on because I have Chronicles.
Nice.
Yeah, so I have Final Fantasy 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 2, 12, 13, 13 2, 13 3, and 15. Launch Edition 15. And I have 14 on my computer. I have a bunch of Onimushas. I have all the Metal Gears. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And 3. Jack. Wait a minute. I don't have Jack 2 and 3 on the PS2. I just have Jack and Daxter. Crazy, and I have Jack Gets Combat Wrestling. That's a great game. Alright. Okay, I'm babbling. I'm fucking babbling. I'm sorry, guys. We shall move on.
Hey, I mean, it was related to the question. They asked about reprints. You had said good one. I mean, I've struggled, by the way, with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Version of this. There was a card I really wanted that was printed, like, once at a high rarity, and it was very expensive. And then Konami printed it again, and it was not, and I have a playset. Yay.
Yay. Actually, I think I've recovered from my big spending on Tiamat. I might have to go back to getting my Dragon Maids. But with that, let us move on. So this next one comes from I Am the Re-More that is approaching, expanding. Hey, Lucky Omega, how have the raids been treating you? They've been aight. My question is pretty simple. What mat hell are you currently in right now? Having kicked all the mates I need for the coming servants. I am short void, dust, and bones by 2k and 2.4k respectively. For real, the extra drop rate CC cannot come soon enough. Made. Best of luck on your rolls and good vibes. Cheers. P.S. I took a gander at the price of a 380 Ti and what the actual fuck. Actually, what is the price of it for the 380 Ti?
Well, I'm gonna look it up.
Me too.
Okay, the MSRP, I think, is $699.
I'm looking at prices on Newegg right now, and it is $1,300.
Yep, I'm seeing $1,200 on Best Buy, or $100 a month for 12-month financing. Damn. That's that semiconductor shortage, yo. That's what's the fuck.
And this is why I buy games on consoles.
Yeah, basically. Especially with the way the, like, screen share and streaming works now on the PS5, it's just like, why would I not? Right?
Again, like, next person says, like, PC Master Raid, and I'm like, PC Master of your fucking wallet.
It didn't cost me that much to buy a fucking PS5 pre-order, okay? And that's just the component. That's not even the rest of the computer juice, right? That's just the graphics card that does the graphics. Crazy.
It is crazy. But again, if you want that fucking, 120 FPS, high fidelity, fucking 4K resolution that does absolutely no except please your fucking light receptors in your eyeballs, go for it.
Yeah, there are some guys who are real, like, graphics heads, who, like, actually, can perceive the distance. There are mutants among us. There are people who can see 700 colors or whatever. Most people aren't, though. Hey, whatever. You have fun with you.
I will say, though, I think I'm getting a little too used to having my PS5 60 FPS. I'm starting to consider that the normal.
I mean, I think it is becoming more normal. Like, most YouTube videos now default to, like, 60 FPS at HG. Like, at 720 or at 1080, right? Which are technically in the high def range.
Yeah. So well, I think it's just that interesting grind because, again, growing up in the 90s, we were still like 360 and 480p, letterbox fucking, not letterbox, 4.3 sizing, and then, just over time, getting up to 720, 1080, up in that FPS. It's one of those things of, I'm not so, like, I don't mind, upscales in, like, technology and stuff, but, like, as technology goes on, the quality just slowly improves, and I'm okay with just staying on that slow incline. I just don't need it immediately. I don't need the biggest and the bestest right now.
Yeah, there's something to be said for just the waiting for when a tech is, like, mass marketable, right?
Right.
Like, there was so much, out there for, HD DVDs, Blu-rays, blah, 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 get a new player. And then, like, my fucking default movie video maker that I use to, like, stitch together, progs or make Let's Talk FGOs, that's just like, hello, click button if you want 720 or 1080. And I'm like, click button, yes. Like, that's easy it is. It's just I tell my machine to do the thing, and it does the thing.
Yay.
And I think YouTube does a little bit of back-end upscaling. I don't know if you can watch Let's Talk FGO at 60 frames per second. You don't need to, because it's literally a still image, but get some other stuff. But yeah, it's definitely something I noticed. I started noticing that about like, web video, like, when I started to get a phone that actually was good and, like, internet that was good, right?
Right.
Like, when YouTube videos started defaulting to 60 frames, I was like, ooh, this is really crisp and smooth. This is the 60 frames. This is a question to let us know in the comments. I don't want to turn this into a whole thing between me and Lucky, because I don't mind getting lost in the Faff zone, but we do kind of... Was that our last one?
No, we got one more after this.
Okay, we should at least wrap that one up. But in the comments, let me know if this is actually, like, if you are a graphics guy, is the frame rate actually, like, exponential? Does, like, doubling 60 to 120 actually get you, like, noticeably smoother frames, or is it just kind of minor? I know obviously tech-wise that sounds like a lot of frames, but does it actually do anything? Let me know. Does it make the frames more buttery?
Ooh, butter.
Keeping in mind that it's always kind of weird. Another thing is cameras, right? And movies being shot in 24 frames.
Oh, yeah.
But internet video and, like, video games are, like, 30, 60 frames. It's an interesting thing. Shutter speed. Lots more videos on the internet if you want to learn about that. But okay.
But this person, we'd never actually answered this. I'm in the bone zone. Eternally in the bone zone. Forever bone zone.
I mean, I don't actually know, because you've clearly done some advanced math to arrive at those large figures, so I don't know for sure. I feel like the math that is constantly fucking me, though, is stakes. Like, every time I get a shitload of stakes, I then spend a shitload of stakes, and then I don't have any fucking stakes anymore. So that's always my hell.
And that is that. So we're going to move on to the last one here, which comes from The Abandoned Warehouse, who sends an extra large comment as compensation for not commenting last week. I appreciate it. Otherwise, there would only be 12 here. And that'd be very, very sad. But they say, hello, seeker of Fluffy Fox, Lucky, and seeker of arcane knowledge, Omega. Yes, that's correct. I seek Fluffy Foxes. They say, I managed to pull an Odysseus while listening to last week's episode, so thanks for our lucks, guys. Hey, you're welcome. Currently, I'm in full degen farming mode for the Apoc raids. The first one was madness. I only able to score 35 kills, though I did get another 60 on the second Jack raid. Congrats.
The Jack raid went by fast.
Yeah, it did. And yet, that's still not enough dust. What the heck, Lysangle? Question. Predictions for next Artoria Servant. I believe a summer leans to Artoria as an adventurer. In contrast to the Bunny Ruler would be fun. Or even Dutchy and good farming. P.S. Jack be a good girl and come back soon. I still need dust. Also bring Uncle Karna and his bone drops.
I mean, yeah, that's probably a good one, because it's been like 3 years, almost, since Ruler, Summer Artoria. So, seeing Alter that Lancer come back, especially as we've lamented about the fact that the Alter version of Lancer Artoria doesn't have a lot of characterization, that could be fun. I would hope for that.
Put her in leathers and give her a fucking American motorcycle. Or a British one. Like a Bonneville or a Harley. That'd be sick. More servants on motorcycles.
Well, 1971, vroom vroom.
Actually, which one is Maid Alter's motorcycle? Is it a crotch rocket? Yeah, because Kentucky has a chopper. I'm pretty, let me look at it real quick here. Maid Alter FGO. I
mean, I would say I'm fairly certain the original style in Zero was a more, Japanese manufactured crotch rocket style thing,
Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah. So, put Lancer Archer in some leather jeans, a sick leather jacket, give her some 6 shades, put her on a Bonneville. God, I love the Bonneville. She can lead the wild hunt like Harry Dresden did. Vroom. Actually,
yeah, definitely. Like you said, I would say the Bonneville or the Harley, like classic American motorcycle.
Mm-hmm. It's not the button I wanted. Yeah.
Instead of her dragon helmet, have her wear like a dragon mouth bandana over the bottom half of her face, like it's fucking Wild Hogs with the skull. And then the Ascension is just she unzips the jacket to show a bikini. Duh. I know how summer works at FGO.
I mean, a leather jacket and a bikini is a powerful aesthetic. Let's see, the last Artoria Alter version, that'd be Mixa.
Yes, technically. Space.
I swear to God, I need a Poke evolution chart for just the Artorias.
Oh, it exists, Lucky. You say that. Somebody in chat is Googling right now. They are finding it. It's out there. I have seen that meme before. Every time there's a new Artorias, somebody updates the meme chart. And not even just, like, the dumb shit, like, just, you know, the levels and then one is with a stone. Like, full-blown, like, obscure Pokemon shit, like, level up near the Moss Rock kind of thing. Level up at night with max friendship.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Somebody will find it. It's out there.
All right, but no, that is it for mailbag. Yay.
Yay, mailbag. Okay, so we've been recording for about 2.5 hours. We won't feel the need to bog you down too much longer, but we have a little bit of stuff we can talk about in free talk. I did put in my notes, one, just to keep the spacing of topics, but also in case you wanted to talk about the rerun a little, my notes just say Hargle Bargle raids.
I mean, Hargle Bargle raids, honestly, to be realist, I've skipped every story beat.
Yeah. Well, it's because you got to get to the raids. Like, the moment the event started, I was like, people are raiding right now.
It's true. I need them.
And at the very least, I want even if I don't, you know, go ham, I need the currency, right? Because that's where Mordred's costume is in the shop and other stuff, EXPs, all that stuff. And you know, you want the rewards. There's tickets and QP and other shit in the line. So I want to get my coins in because I've got my max limit break CE. So yeah, I was just like, I remember what's happening in here. I thought it was pretty cool. I don't have time for that though because people are going nuts.
Yeah, they are.
As we talked about with the Jack thing. So yeah, it is just Hargle Bargle raids down here. I talked about my strategy for Fran. That's where I've done a lot of grinding on just raid stuff because there weren't any mats I particularly needed. I don't even know who's up right now. I think Spartacus went down already out of our current wave. But yeah, I've already discussed my strategy items. I have, you know, Kentucky, obviously, and I've got plenty of fluffed up stuff. I'm pretty sure my Kentucky's animal communication's pretty big.
Well, again, like this event, like I forgot this event was good for QP. I really did. I was like, oh shit. Like when I started doing it, I'm like getting like, you know, between 1 million and 1.5 million. I was like, oh no, this is something I need. My eternal lament is QP. So I've been definitely like trying to put in a little bit more effort. Oh, someone did fucking find the chart.
Yeah, it's not complete because Mix is not on here, but this is one of the ones I've seen. I love that for double X, it's trade with a metal coat, fucking Steelix style. Alright. Lucky can talk about his raid strategies for a second. I'm going to grab my phone and actually boot up FGO really quick.
Yeah, no, looking at the chart, we need Mix and we need the other one. I do love that this does exist. This makes me happy. And there's another one!
Yep. No.
No, I like the first one. I like Crystal Star. I like one's better. It's cleaner too.
But yeah, when you said the reference, I was like, yep, no, I know people have made that joke. That's out there.
But like I said, my strategy has been very simple. I talk about this. I have an NP5 Vlad, level 90, 10-10-1. I just slap as many buffos on him and I unleash, and it seems to work. I have literally not done any of the fucking story nodes. I mean, like, not the story, the free quest nodes.
Yep, same. There's
like
that's what the event goes until the 23rd. The raids stop the 17th. That's what after the raid times are for.
Yeah. So that's my thought there. But like I said, again, but I will be putting some time into those free quests because guess what? There are cookies in the shop.
Yeah, there's cookies in the shop.
Delicious, delicious cookies.
They also will replenish some of your apples, which you're probably spending on raids, people. So don't sleep on them entirely. Apples are important. I still have a shitload because I haven't gone ham in a while. So earlier today, I was triple wielding. I was listening to a podcast on my old-ass MP3 player. I was playing Horizon, and then in between hunting robot dinosaurs, and robot cryptids, I was smashing raids. So I spent some apples today. It's always kind of neat to see the energy rise up in the community, right? Like, This is one of those things where everybody gets excited. It's like, oh shit, it's raid time. Sometimes I think people get a little too excited, but we doing the thing.
We're doing the thing in the place with the stuff.
It's really speaking of which, I'm like, I have to take care of the story node because I didn't do that after the last raid's finished because the new ones immediately started. So I'll take care of that really quick for those Saint Courts because I think I'm gonna make at least 90 before Lost Belt 7 comes out with all the stuff happening. I'll probably still have to buy some more, knowing my luck, but we'll try. We'll try and get Canis right away. We'll see if it goes well.
Make a solid effort.
I got some interludes and some rank ups and stuff. I finally got my Valkyries to Bond 5, so I can do their interlude soon. Probably once that raid schedule slips. I appreciate that when they designed this event the original time, they realized that, like, okay, the raids are going to make people go crazy. Because they've known that since Solomon, with the mat raids. Give you more Barbatos. So that there's literally just a dead period. There's like, all right, and after this point, no more raids. Don't worry about it. Do free quests. Just taken care of. It's fine. So that'll be good. But yeah, I don't have a lot more to add to that strategery. It's just push button, get raid. I hope people have an easy time with their setups. Obviously, like we said, we did the original version, so I have still all my full MLB CEs ready to rock with those big damage bonuses and those big coin drop bonuses, right? So
right,
it's pretty easy. Also, holy shit, Jack. That was just the story version. I didn't even have like my full support servant buffs, and that was still like 200k twin enemy domed. But yeah, so we'll let that pass. Lucky mentioned it earlier. I believe he has been working on a concept for a feedback survey for the people at home. It's been a while since we did one of those. We had some thoughts about some, I guess would you say different types of content or different mixes of content for people, Like seeing if there's some slightly different videos we can make, or if you are interested in things as their own videos rather than in just Let's Talk FGO.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Again, I want us to start getting our growth up. So I've been basically trying to think of questions that people want to know, like, and it's gonna be a lot of things. I'm gonna probably go over gonna probably talk about like how people feel about the Patreon, how they feel about the store or the lack of one, like desire for merch. What kind of merch, how they feel about Discord, things they want about in Discord, the Twitter. So I'll be trying to tackle a lot of topics on the channel, the Discord, the Twitter, the store or lack thereof, the Patreon, and basically content that you want to see or don't want to see necessarily. And I'll do some additional polling about, age, region. I don't think I really need to ask where people come from. I don't think that's necessarily important, but I do want to kind of get idea of the breadth of the audience.
Yeah, just the usual demographics type stuff.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a little while before I get on that because I am putting a lot on my plate lately. It's starting to get to me a little bit.
It happens.
Like I said,
I've been juggling a couple of things.
Like I said, I'm still working on Grand Voyager, the Wild Towns campaign that people still seem pretty excited for. I'm like,
yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, I got to keep working on that. I'm glad I told people I was going to only be working on it slowly, so don't expect it. But people still seem to have questions and stuff. And again, I will do the thing where I just go and kick down the door to our tabletop and be all like, hey, yo, check this out.
Yeah.
I'm horrible about that. I'm good about not telling spoilers, but if I got something to share, I will fucking share it.
Yep. Like I said, I kind of understand. Obviously, because you completed Horizon earlier this week, I was like, well, I want to talk about it then. So, again, we'll see how far we get. A lot of my commentary on what's up later, whenever that later is for you personally listening to this right now, will definitely be like, yeah, so Horizon is a game that doesn't want you to power through it. You will respect the majesty of this game, damn you, or else. And I'm like, okay, fine, geez, guys, calm down.
They will not be calm.
It will try and make it seem like it's calm, but it's not calm. There's a robot monkey, or a robot Spinosaurus, or a giant robot bat, or a murderous robot polar bear. There's a lot of deadly robots hanging around every corner waiting for you, just waiting.
Surprise!
It's not enough that you have to do like a fucking sliding block puzzle and carry a thing. It's also like, and also drop the thing and fight these guys, then pick the thing up again. Why? Well, whatever. It is what it is. So I drop the thing.
Content.
Yeah. There's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of, like, honestly, my high level right now, I would say, like, design-wise, like, I actually, it's weird. I want them to, like, pare down a third game at this rate. Like, there's just, why are there so many weapons and so many ammo types, Lucky? Why? Again,
like, the game, I've talked about this, the game would really benefit from just an in-house weapon crafting system. Jesus.
Yeah, just let me design, if you want to make it truly freeform to the player and make those things matter, yeah, I agree now. Like, you really, as opposed to just the 50 billion random shit I get, like, I just randomly went back and completed a low-level side quest, and that guy was like, hey, here's an adhesive blast sling, and I was like, cool, I've been looking for this. Why the fuck is this just in this quest? Why is it here? It is so much shit I just get randomly. Like, some of the stuff at least is like, okay, this is a late game area, they give me the legendary shit. I unlocked the arena, I also bought the, like, Nora Thunder Strider or whatever armor. Like,
yeah, Thunder Warrior.
Yeah, the, like, best hunter type armor there is with all those fucking bonuses to range damage, and I'm like, yeah, this will be good for a fight. I shoot lots of arrows. And it's just, like, But they don't carry like 4 at a time. Your ammo cap's at 3 is the thing. I don't think I've seen a 4 ammo type.
No, they haven't. If you're unfortunate, 2 of the arrows will be the exact same thing.
I don't like the advanced and the normal. It sucks. I
told you
it's just for ammo cap. Yeah, I know. I understand. I knew it would suck, but now that I'm actually dealing with it, it's like, wait. So I've got a frost hunter bow, and then I've got frost arrows. I've got normal arrows, and then I have advanced frost arrows. Why though? Like legendary, I do think that there is actually a sense to progression to this game. Sorry for the full tangent, guys, but we're in free talk anyway.
We're in for that.
But like, it's all like area locked. Like if you want to get the really good shit, like all your legendary and purple shit for the best part, other than doing arena stuff, which is harder, is like you got to go to the very last area, and it's like, okay, cool, I get that. So I would have had a completely different experience if I just turboed my way to the far end of the map, and then I like backfilled in all those side quests. But then those side quests give me like really low level shit. So the game has just got so much stuff going on, and it's so busy. I kind of wish it was like pared down and streamlined, like being able to craft your own weapons and armor truly, and not just buy them for certain items, like how you craft upgrades. That would be cool. I would like to see that more involved, but there's just so many goddamn machine parts and ammo types and traps and everything. Also, guys, if you're going to make flying enemies, give me more tools to deal with them sooner. Like, I had to turn off the context-sensitive clues because the only tooltip I ever see is, try a vertical electric trap to deal with flying enemies. And it's like, really? That's the only solution? What about all the other, like, 4 skill trees? And they're like, nah, vertical electrical traps. Okay. Let me just deal with this fucking, Stormbird that like flies way above my fucking head view and I can't track anymore. That's cool. I love it.
I love that dive bomb. It's just like, I know it's coming.
Yeah, no, when I first saw that dive bomb attack, I was like, really? Really? This is our solution to me disabling its range attack? It just flies really high up and crashes into the ground? I mean, I guess it gives me a little bit of opportunity on the ground to like glue him or rope him or something, but like, damn, this is like really, really annoying. I kind of wish I hadn't blown up its storm gun.
Oh no, I'm always happy to blow up its storm gun because Jesus fucking.
Oh, that's true. That's the other thing I would like to feel like I do things that matter more to enemies. Like even when I knock off their stuff, enemies still feel like they're really dangerous and scary. Whereas for me, every time I get tickled by even the tiniest robot, like Aloy, goes flying ass over tea kettle, or she gets electrically shocked and falls to the ground, or I get covered in acid and start melting, and then I get hit again. It's like, god damn, this is just. If Horizon like had the iterativeness, like the dying and coming back, this would straight up be like a roguelike. This game could be a Soulsborne. It's so close to that level, especially if you like leave the difficulty tuned up. Like it's just it demands a lot of perfection, it feels like. And I'm sure it doesn't actually demand the perfection, but I just feel like it does. Anyway, like I've been busy with lots of stuff, so my FGO has been very autopilot-y. Like I had my spark of inspiration for the thing I wanted to do with the next Delta Green. Mm-hmm. The adventure is codenamed Operation Starcourt, aka the Mall of the Damned, but I figured the operation names would be smoother. It's canonical, by the way. The first operation is Operation Bigfoot, and the second one I've decided will canonically be called Operation Moonrat.
Moonrat?
Yeah, in all caps. Moonrat.
Oh my god, okay.
You just write that down in your character sheets. So this one's Starcourt, which is named after the mall in the 3rd season. I think it's the 3rd season of Stranger Things.
Oh,
definitely doesn't mean anything. But, like, I had that huge spark, partially inspired by my newfound, the fact that I actually vibe with what they call Mallsoft, which is a vaporwave adjacent genre. Speaking of pop culture genres and stuff earlier, drifting. But I'm also, like, I got started as well writing the next Star Wars thing because I committed. I'm like, no, I'm going to write down the tank battle one so that it's in the hopper so we can go back to it because I don't want to just, like, let it sit because I know the players are willing to come back to it. So I've been jamming a lot of different projects and stuff just randomly. Like I've wanted to listen to more, like get through Gideon, but I feel like I'm not in the right mood space for it. Everything is just got so much other stuff. Just sitting there and absorbing things is hard.
Slurp.
But yeah, so I don't have a lot for free talk, like FGO wise, but like content stuff, like you said with the stream. I have ideas for things I could float out there and stuff, but I kind of agree with what you said. It has been. I realized it had been a long time since we did the feedback. I like to hear from the audience, right? And obviously, again, your feedback matters. Actually, consider you can genuinely give us ideas for what you'd like, and we've taken this kind of stuff under advisement before, like where we put things and where, and other stuff we just do.
Oh no, don't worry. Like when I run the survey, I'm gonna leave it running for like a month, and I'm gonna shill it constantly. So don't worry, you people will know.
Yes. So
You will
hear
have
about
no
it,
choice but
answer,
to know.
It's good. I think that's kind of where we got some of the drive for like other ideas we've gotten from these, and they're pretty okay. And so it's good to hear from people, and we do technically have some newer listeners. I was right. Last episode did better. It's still like a little sluggish, but its view levels were longer and stronger. We've gotten some subs. I think we got like up 5. Another one is like dropped off, but we've also, it's been a week, so YouTube is constantly filtering out spam because we do get plenty of spam. I've got a new kind of weird spam bot trying to link a YouTube playlist in our comments now, which is weird. But luckily, YouTube usually catches those, and I just that's spam, get rid of it. But, that at least I take as a positive sign that, like, bots think our channel is worth trying to shitpost on, to spam on, at least. But, yeah, so we've been trying to do some stuff, and we have some ideas. One of those is actually something I do want to bring up to people as well, though I will warn you, I will admit, part of my idea for this does involve more, once again, trying to bring emphasis to the Patreon integration. So, yes, I'm trying to do money stuff, but the content end will be public. Because one of the old things we did a few times was what I called, in our notes, Servant Spotlight, where we would break down kind of both the mechanics and the lore of a servant on not kind of like in a wanted style, but also not necessarily 5 stars as they came out, right? And obviously, I still do like new servant deets on servants as they roll out, though that is filtered through the power of moon runes. But like we talked about like Mash a long time ago, we talked a little bit about Hans, and I know people like kind of our rambly lore vibes, so I was thinking about maybe like asking people if they'd be interested in either maybe as a standalone video, we have to see how we can work on scheduling, but also just as a segment to kill more time on Let's Take FGO, and we have slow weeks, because the weeks do happen, where I'm sure you guys want the content because the longer videos do better. I assume that means you guys are watching for longer, and that makes YouTube think, hey, this video's neat, let's show it to more people. Neat. Which is kind of why we're faffing right now. Like, we're trying to round out the episode time a little bit. We're at about 2:45 raw time, by the way. Obviously, it won't stay that way because editing. And there were a couple times when Lucky got lost in the research hole, which will get smooshed down.
It's big and dark and has a lot of interesting stuff in it.
I'm making a smooshing gesture, like patty cake type. Anyway, but I know that especially if people are like going ham on raids, that's when we usually do a decent amount of our work with lotto boxes and raids, because people are like, I'm just doing the same fucking thing over and over again on my phone. What can I do to entertain myself? I can listen to these yahoos talk for like 5 hours. And obviously, next week we'll have a Lost Boat pregame, so I will not expurgate that. I will, not like spoiler details, but I will try my best to wrap my brain around the mechanics and actually, like, give you guys heads up and tips, because Olympus has built up this reputation as being quite hard, so we're gonna take a crack at it. And then, obviously, if our timing is right, after that, we will probably have, like, initial impressions and news, and then eventually that thing where we talk for 5 hours about this, right? When we actually get into the meat of Olympus. But the Servant Spotlight is as a kill time. I was thinking I would make this like the Fan Servant Friday and like Teach Omega Sensei when it comes up. And yes, I know, I don't know if I'll have time this month, because it does look like the end of our month will be pretty packed. But I know that people talked about wanting to Teach Me Extella. That's still, I remember that still. I will put that in the hopper for some time when I think is a good week for it. But the idea would basically be to run another poll. So yes, only our 5 and up patrons could vote in it, because yeah, I want to incentivize it. We talked about our money earning situation. I would like to see some growth there. Our Patreon usually gets a little static. Like, if we have a big episode influx, we'll get a couple, and then usually we get a little bit of like humping, as a year rolls around. Sometimes people like to, go for yearly memberships and stuff. But a lot of it's kind of like win some, lose some. Like, some month somebody will be like, my financial situation changed, whatever, I'll cancel the pledge, and another guy slides in and is like, I'll pledge for a little bit. So I'm thinking about incentives and making sure that the patrons have something that they feel like they're getting value out of already. So another poll type, and just throw out some pre-existing FGO servants that we can, like, do some deep dives. I'll probably, like, grill Lucky about some concepts or some themes if there's any servants he would like to do, like, a deep lore chunky lore. And just posit the poll to patrons similar to Fan Servant Friday and Teach Me, and then just sometime during the month we do a spotlight on that servant, and probably do not my full wanted scripting, especially if it's in the actual podcast, but do a little bit of the, like, more polish. If you haven't watched one in a while, I try, guys. I have, like, an actual scripted video, the bullet points. I don't always go ham on the editing, but I do try to actually, like, edit the audio more. So, like, get a little bit of that energy into the servant spotlight and actually like talk about some of these characters, because as we discussed earlier about the Nasuverse lore type stuff, there's usually a lot of like interesting lore factors which may or may not get brought up, and then there are also a lot of impressions people have about characters, and a lot of like weird background stuff. And it's always the funniest thing, like, thinking about, like, sometimes people go, that's like an anime-ass thing, that's a Fate thing, and then you go, no, actually, no, that's what the original lore is like, and people are like, what? Because mythology is crazy, guys. Like, if you're like, oh, it's probably not, because Sherlock Holmes is so much pop cultural osmosis, but I could see people being like, Holmes talking about his pain meds or whatever, that's made up, or the martial arts, that was made up for, like, Robert Downey Jr. No, Holmes is a cocaine addict martial artist. That's canon. That's Arthur Conan Doyle. And no, it's because it was cool at the time. Right, by the way, guys, Coca-Cola. Cocaine. Yeah, so, like, that's where we was at, And also, maybe in a spotlight with lore, we could talk about sometimes things where people have kind of colored impressions. As much as I think Ovid's poetry is cool, I always feel like whenever there is a problematic interpretation of a myth where, like, classical, Greco-Roman characters are, like, really shitty to each other and everything's very bleak, it's always fucking Ovid's fault. Because he was very butthurt when he wrote Metamorphoses for, like, legitimate reasons, but it colored so many people in the modern day who don't understand the context anymore, Ovid.
Ovid's just in his grave going, ha-ha, suckers!
And I'm just like, God damn it, Ovid. You're the one making people think that, like, Arachne was just, like, a humble country girl, and she was punished for her hubris of the gods. No, in some of the older, like, more Homeric or previous Grecian period myths, Arachne is punished because she's a smug git. Like, she tapestries scenes of, like, the gods fucking around, and naturally, of course, Athena is like, no, don't do that. And then Arachne is like, oh no, I have been chastised by a goddess, I will commit Sudoku. And then Athena's like, okay, don't do that either. You are now a spider. Go, leave, be happy. But Ovid is usually, like, slightly meaner and more, anti-authoritarian, because, I don't know, he was mad about Augustus or something. It's why, like, parts of the Aeneid are actually, like, if you guys don't know, parts of the Aeneid might be a parody. Virgil might not have been a huge fan of Augustus or Imperial Rome either. He just was, like content creators today, he was trying to make a buck.
Listen, it's called a Divine Comedy for a fucking reason.
Oh yeah, Dante's Divine Comedy as well is a whole... It's supposed to have a happy ending. I think somebody posted about that, talking about, like, how the Italian/Roman perspective on Ulysses was very still to talk about how the fact that, yeah, Dante put Odysseus in hell, I think in, like, the Circle of False Counselors or something. One of the rings of, like, the 9th ring of betrayal. He's up to, like, his ankles or knees or something. Now, part of that is just the usual, Italian jocularity, jockishness. But also I think it's because, if I remember some reading and stuff on this subject about Ulysses, Dante would have only had access to Virgil and other Roman sources, so his version would have been very colored. He may not have had access to an actual, like, fairly authentic translation of the Iliad or the Odyssey.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. He would have had, like I said, just the Roman-Italian sphere. I should look up when we got our first common translations. I think it is later into, like, the Victorian period. When, bored English people are like, yes, what's this myth? I should publish it in a tome, yes, as I smoke my pipe. We all smoke pipes here, and drink laudanum. But yeah, so Servant Spotlight would be kind of like, I think, like a mix between some of the stuff we've done on, like, either, New Servant Deeds, so you didn't get that 5-star type stuff, and then a little bit of the more polished Wanted scripts. And Wanted actually got more polished because of feedback. People said that I should tighten up the scripting, and I was like, okay, I mean, if that's what you guys want, I'll do it. And it's not pitch perfect, mostly because I am an audio editor only by necessity, and I am not really a video editor. I've done a couple of funny things out of necessity, or just ideas that worked, but, my tools and my skills are limited. But yeah, so look forward to that feedback survey, and as always, you can just give your feedback in the comments. The commenters. So I mentioned it before, but I can say next week will be just to be safe, will be the Lost Belt 5 Part 2 pregame. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be the 24th, so that would mean that the 25th recording date doesn't work. That would not be a pregame, that would be a postgame. So we'll do that next week. When is... Let me check the news. When will... Okay, the 16th, so... We'll also get to see what's up with this battle in New York, you know, what kind of banners we got, if we got any other crazy new content, whatever. We can see how people are fucking melting in JP over the Lottos. Luckily, if you're one of those lunatics who dual servers, you will have very little overlap because the raid timer ends on the 17th, and I don't think it'll go the full time, Lucky.
Probably not.
No. So the overlap should get cleaned up a little. Also, next week we should have, like I said, whatever happens on the arcade stream and whatever happens with this Lost Belt 1 spotlight video, as they call it. So those all come out, and keep an eye out for them over the weekend. And probably, if my official guess TM is correct, the 25th show recording, which will be releasing to the public on the 26th, will be the first impressions of the new Lost Belt, which will probably be screaming.
Probably.
Whoa, Daime! Slush lust for revenge. Whoo, Daime! Metal Gear memes never get old.
Really
Okay,
don't.
that's, I think that's everything on my, free talk, business talk, post-chili talk end. Do you have any other, future events or other random stuff we want to bring up to the people at home?
Not right now.
All right, well, that sounds like we've done all the talking we're going to do for this talk. This talky talk. I specify this talky talk. We're not done talking yet. But if you want to hear us talk more, be sure to check out What's Up. I almost said Let's Talk again. What's Up with Omega and Lucky. It'll be live streamed on our channel. Again. Oh, shoot, I got to come up with a thumbnail this week. What am I going to do? I'll think of something by tomorrow.
Think of something.
Or I won't, and it'll be really, really weird and bad. But whatever, I'll think of something. I'll make something up.
Mm.
Worst comes to worst, I can always just put a PlayStation State of Play logo in there. Maybe I'll grab some of those new games logos and stick them in there. What the fuck is that new Square Tactics RPG called? Dio Field Chronicles? Yeah, Dio Field. Square, you're killing me with the names.
I honestly bet that the Dio Field is actually the combat system. You must enter the Dio Field.
Well, one of them's in all caps, isn't it? I can't remember if it's Dio or Field. I think it is Dio because the JoJo. But yeah, so that'll be one of the things we'll be talking about on What's Up. But if this episode of Let's Talk FGO is live to public on YouTube, you can check out What's Up later that day. Honestly, if if the video is actually on YouTube even for patrons, it's technically probably still the next day, so What's Up will be later that day as well. I understand how editing works. Time! So keep an eye out for that. You can expect 3 or 4 more hours of us rambling and yelling about things. If you enjoyed me yelling about Horizon, expect Lucky to actually get some yelling in about Horizon, because he's beated the game and will have thoughts and feelings.
Oh, I have thoughts and feelings.
I expect many feelings, for sure. So, yeah, that's a good thing to tune in. And with that little bit out of the way, well, actually, I should, because we are technically moving to a new game, I should also remind people we stream Mondays. If you want even more Lucky and Omega, there'll probably be a raid or something going on. We are continuing our Uncharted saga. We're about to actually, for now anyway, wrap it up. We're going to start the last game, Lost Legacy.
Yay.
So we'll be sure to check that out. That'll be completely new for me. I don't think I've ever seen, other than maybe some trailers, I don't think I've ever actually seen anything really big from Lost Legacy.
Don't worry, I'm in the exact same boat.
Yeah, so that'll that if you're interested in that kind of thing, check it out. So it'll be very fresh eyes for us.
Fresh.
So I believe with all that out of the way, just that little content extra bits and bobs. Luckily Omega has a couple of weeks before he has to well, I have a week before I have to pull a wanted Dioscuri out of somewhere. I have to conjure it from the stars. But yeah, with all that, just letting you know about stuff we're doing and other stuff you can catch us, and how much we'd really appreciate if you would catch us on other stuff. Let's do the outro. Some of our patrons have already passed out. Had to go. So, first of all, if you like this video, give it a like. It lets people know you like the video and makes YouTube think you like it, so other people may like it. Go for it. It's helpful.
Very.
Impactful. Also, go ahead and leave your comments on any of the things we talked about in the comment section down below. I noticed last week our comment section was pretty good. Got a decent check of comments, got a lot of likes, so let's keep that up. I mean, you don't have to say anything meaningful in the comment section. You can just be like, hey, I like this video, or yes, I will recommend it to my friends. But, just hearing different voices chip in, it's very refreshing for us and very helpful for the channel as well. And, of course, if you're new here and haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to get more of this. We do Let's Talk FGO every week when we can. We also do our other podcast, What's Up, every week, and we do other content variously throughout the weeks. Usually at least one stream a week, some other stuff. So, sub, and also consider hitting that bell for notifications so you always know when we post a new video, or when we stream. If you never want to miss a video or stream, ring that bell. You can also join our channel memberships, get access to membership badges and emotes. I think we still need one more new member before we unlock new emote slots. If Lucky draws that Tirabit party hat, that might be a new emote on our YouTube channel. It'll definitely be a new emote on our Discord server, which you can find a link to in the video description or on our channel page as well. We like emotes here. Many emotes, many stickers. Most of them comma. Comma chameleon. But yeah, you guys can check that out. You guys can yell about your raids. You can post your bingo card about the GSSR for some reason. Whatever you like. We also don't just talk about FGO there as well. We have channels for general convo, games where you can yell about Elden Ring and fighting games.
I'm sorry, I'm a little disappointed that immediately after State of Play, they immediately started talking about the JoJo fighting game. It took like 20 minutes before someone brought up netcode. I'm like, that must be a record.
Yeah, we were in the middle of a completely different discussion, and then somebody, like, derailed our train of thought, and then it was just, like, JoJo. And I'm like, all right, over the past, like, I think couple of years, I have gotten into the JoJo. I like the anime, but I'm not caught up on any of the bits that are still in the manga. And, like, these people are talking about, like, advanced level JoJo shit, and I'm just like, wow, I'm lost. You're talking about characters from the latest parts, and I'm just like, yeah.
Some of our people have no chill, beware.
Yeah. It's okay. You don't have to say anything to join our Discord. You can just read along and pop in when you want. We sometimes talk about books or movies. We've got an art channel where you can, post art that is cool. We do have a traditional games channel where you can yell about D&D memes and post about Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously because of Master Duel Yu-Gi-Oh! Thing being very popular. But, there's stuff out there. And you can still yell about internet videos. You still like VTubers? Well, also, yes, if you're into what's the meme about Final Fantasy 14?
Oh god, which one?
Best-selling or award-winning? I'm trying to remember.
Have you heard about award-winning Final Fantasy 14 free up to level 60 with Heavenward's trial? Heavenward trial? Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. If you're one of those people, we also have a pretty decent community of that, and you can possibly, if you're cool enough, join Lucky's secret club of secretness and play 14. Or you could just play it normally and melt your brain.
We do actually have a fair amount of 14 players that are not part of my secret club, but yeah. I put out the calls like, hey, who wants to join the secret Final Fantasy 14 club? And no one said anything. Also, I will kick people out if they annoy me, so that might be a thing too.
Yeah, we're big on
in the
Discord.
in my crow's nest, I am the absolute authority.
But yeah, so check out our Discord. You can also, like I said at the front of the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. Like I said, I'm thinking about some more investment in there. But currently, even without any additional content, you can join our Patreon to vote on monthly topic polls. I will double check to see if it's gone anywhere, but last I looked at the Fan Favorite Friday poll, Aeneas is still winning slightly, with King Laocoon behind him a little bit. We got a lot of votes in there, so that call out worked. Yeah, we got like 20 votes. With a week left, so, we still got some swing. That means that Lacusta did actually get a couple of votes.
Yay!
So, keep that out there. So you can vote on that at the 5 and up level. You get access to videos early. As a little $1 a month, or roughly $10 a year. We do annuals, as I said. You can get access to our shows in audio format. You can get them relatively early. I stop recording, and then I start editing the audio. So usually it's a pretty decently fast turnaround time for that, assuming that I don't get distracted because I've, been recording the show for like 3 hours and stuff has happened. But that's at our low levels. At our higher levels, you can listen to us record Let's Talk FGO live, like several of our patrons did. If you ever hear us do like a weird aside or talk to somebody who didn't say anything, patrons. And yeah, they pay us money, so they get preferential treatment. Sorry. Straight up. Yeah, it's true. They get to listen to the show live. They can yell about it. It's funny. We have fun here. You can get on our shoutouts as well. And like I said, it really does help support us and shake out all that stuff. And yeah, this has been Let's Talk FGO. We will see you guys next week for even more of this. Please clap. No, watch What's Up. You can clap during What's Up, though. Bye, everybody.
Ah!